week 3, right? Can you believe that? This is the 3rd week now. It is gonna go by so fast. Disappear, gone, bye-bye, bye Felicia. Right? So of course, let's get going with a newsletter of what's going on today. Just like Ice Cube said it, today, okay? Come on. So what is going on, right? Let me go back. You guys know all about that. Hybrid classes, uniform policies, mask mandatory, be on time to class. You guys know about the uniform policy reminder, right? Just a little note from Miss Mary Reardon, right? As we return to campus, remember our uniform policies. Every student signs this policy before you can begin school, acknowledging and accepting the rules. That's our contract, our application. These rules also apply, also are also following your student handbook and our service set guidelines. You guys have been doing really well. Being complete uniform, school issued jacket, pants, aprons, hat, black non-canvas shoes, non-skid as well. No piercings, no matches or rings. Black's fine. Unless a plain wedding band, no jewels, false eyelashes because they fall on your food and it's going to have, you know, contaminated. No false fingernails, long nails or color nails, hair inside your hat or in a tight bun. No ponytails. Contact Ms. Mary Reardon if you need to purchase one of the large fluffy hats. Looks like a mushroom. Okay. Beard's no longer than 1/4 inch, or you have to wear a beard guard. Mine is not that long. I trim it. I don't like to have a bird's nest in my chin. Right. Also remember to check your emails from my chef Robin, Shelly. Here we go. Serve makeup on Saturday, May 8th. Okay. If you are needing to do your Serve makeup, here we go. Steps. Sign up and pay on or before 8 a.m. April 26th. Email Chef Raff at srafferty@escopia.edu to get on the list. If you have never taken the exam, a $25 deposit must be made to Chef Raff by April 26th. This is refundable only if you show up for the exam. Okay. If you are doing a retake, then or before April 26th, that fee is $45 to Mary Reardon. That's the phone number. To purchase a Scantron, the bubble sheet, okay, what you need, if this is your first time to take the exam, you must have your Scantron bubble sheet with you. That means your Serve book, okay, inside, okay, there's this Scantron sheet, okay? You put all your sheets, okay? All your answers, okay? That's your Scantron, okay? With you. It is found in the front of the Serve book. Arrive at school 30 minutes early, 7:30 a.m. on the dot. Be in uniform with your face mask. Bring pencils. Do not bring books, backpacks, etc. All the classroom instructions. Best wishes in your exam. Anybody taking it? Want to take it? No, Ms. Mary. If you got certified, that's for you to keep. Okay. So if you were taking his patients, that's the information you need to, okay? So I will take a picture of that and contact him as soon as possible. Either take it or retake it, right? I know Lali did last time, right, Ms. Lali? You follow those instructions and it was right, okay? So yeah, Ms. Trinity, you were somewhere in Humble, right? Somewhere there in the yonder part of the state, right, Ms. Trinity? Right. Okay. So there it is, all the info, okay? What else? Portal issues, you guys know all about that, okay? Tutoring, you guys know about tutoring? It's in your portal homepage, okay? 2021 holiday calendar, May 14th, no school in service, May 31st, Memorial Day, and so forth, so on. But I think it'd be an extra by that time. Special dates on April 5th to 11th, April 19th, National Garlic Day. April 20th, National Cheddar Fries Day. April 21st, National Tea Day. April 22nd, National Jelly Bean Earth Day. April 23rd, National Cherry Cheesecake Day. April 24th, National Pigs in a Blanket Day. April 25th, National Pet Parents Day. Woo! Well, right. Okay. Coming in April. Again, as you guys know about Hulu, right? Again, if you change your information, moved away from your old address and go update on the portal for school, okay? Some local CDC guidelines, some local utilities, some local resources if you need some help. Financial aid questions with Teresa Vargas of Mayor Reardon. How to follow CDC guidelines to protect yourself. Getting a COVID-19 vaccine adds another layer of protection. Learn how to get one. Haven't got mine yet. How to disinfect using bleach. Miss Ann Derrick with a lovely smile. Feature employer, Tillery Kitchen and Bar is hiring part-time and full-time cooks at the 3201 East Cesar Chavez in downtown Austin. Please email your resume to Nicholas Gibson, kitchen manager. Fairmont Austin Career Fair, April 20th, 2021, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Multiple positions, Red River Street. If you're interested, okay? Employee benefits, medical, dental, vision, 401, comp meal, discounted public transportation, global discount program. At the fair, self-parking is validated, wear a mask, or go to the site and get the QR code to get all the openings, okay? Good looking. Additional opportunities, Rochelle Patissier, it's a new baker looking to hire head baker and baker assistant. 1212 Chicon Street. University of Texas also hiring. Bobo's Snack Bar, okay? Birdman's Deli, it's also hiring. All those people are hiring, guys, okay? Quote of the week, every new day is a new opportunity for success. Just for fun, decided I need to eat something healthy, so I made a delicious omelet this morning. Seasoned it with eggs. Season the eggs with sugar, oil, chocolate, throw a little bit of flour for texture. Here's the end result. Beautiful omelet. Beautiful omelet. Trivia, food for thought. From where does Arabica coffee originate? Anyone? 2, Arabia. Anyone else? Brazil, I got a 4, Brazil, 2 and 4, Brazil and Arabia. 1, Ethiopia, 2, Arabia, okay? So I got Arabia, Ethiopia, and Brazil. You'll be surprised. Let's take a look at it, okay? Where does Arabica coffee come from? Ethiopia, that is right, Miss Trinity. Ding, 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 ding. Arabica coffee comes from the beans of a coffee Arabica plant, which originated in Ethiopia. Arabica is the world's most popular coffee type, equating to over 60% of cups drank. Yep, that's where it comes from. Okay. All right. Let's get to it. Right, let's get to it. We're gonna jump right in because we got a lot to cover. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Bob. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna cover tomorrow, beginning with Central America, Brazil, Southern America, not Central, Southern America, Brazil, Argentina, and Chile. Chile. Okay. That's where we're going tomorrow, Tuesday. Okay. Let's take a look at history of Brazil. Man, they can dance really good. They're great dancers. The culture of Brazil is primarily Western. It's a consequence of 3 centuries of colonization by the Portuguese Empire. The core of Brazilian culture is derived from the culture of Portugal. Numerous Portuguese inheritance include the language, predominant religion, and the colonial architectural styles. These aspects, however, were influenced by the African and indigenous American traditions, as well as those from over the Western European countries. Some aspects of Brazilian culture are contributions of Italian, German, and other European immigrants. Amerindian people and the Africans played a large role in the formation of the Brazilian language, cuisine, music, dance, and religion. Brazilian cuisine varies greatly by region. This diversity reflects the country's mix of natives and immigrants. They has created a national cooking style marked by the preservation of regional differences. So it's like a little period, the feijoada, which is an awesome dish, has been the country's national dish. Luis de Camara Cascudo wrote that having been revised and adapted to each region of the country, it is no longer just a dish, but it's become a complete food. Rice and beans also present in the feijoada. It is considered basic Brazilian tables. It is highly regarded as healthy because it contains almost all the amino acids, fiber, and starches needed for basic human nutrition, aside from the non-hemp iron present in beans, best absorbed when consumed together with vitamin C, richly present in the bell peppers, tomatoes, oranges, and acerola, for example. We're gonna take a look at what that looks like, okay? I'll show you that, okay? If you visit Rio for a few days and you're interested in eating some of the typical dishes, one of the items that should be near the top of your list, feijoada. You're gonna take a look at it, okay? Couve is that shredded green cabbage, shredded vegetable that you can see the top of the plate above. And the US call it collard greens. So in Brazil, it's called couve. In the US, it's collard greens. Okay, but it is a rich, heavy stew, black beans, carne seca, linguiça, various cuts of pork, not like the French dish cassoulet. Traditionally, it is served with rice, pork scratchings, pork rind, farofa, orange slices, and couve. Couve again is collard greens. Brazilian cuisine, especially in the coastal states, the foreign influence extended later migratory ways. There you go. Anyways, root vegetables such as cassava, locally known as mandioca, api macassera, among other names, yams, and food like acai. Do you guys know what acai is? Acai, A-C-A-I, or acai, acai, what do you pronounce it? No? Not know, you guys? Acai is a superfood fruit. It is found when you go to Sam's or Costco buy the frozen berries. It has a little tube of acai frozen in it, and it's supposed to give you a boost of energy when you make your milkshakes in the morning or fruit smoothies. Okay. Anyways, the national beverage is coffee, while the cachaca is Brazil native liqueur. Cachaca is still from the sugarcane and is the main ingredient in the national cocktail. Yeah, acai, right? Right, acai is it's like a berry, and you put it in your fruit smoothie, it gives you energy. Okay, it's also full of antioxidants. What else I got? Cheese buns, pão de queijo. Oh man, the Portland has an awesome recipe for pão de queijo. And salgadinhos, such as pastéis, cozinhas, rosilis from pierogi Polish cuisine, and kibbeh from Arabic cuisine are common finger foods. And I think the pão de queijo, Ms. Rebecca, it doesn't have any flour. It is rice flour or tapioca, I believe. So it might be gluten-free, but it's an awesome recipe and it's real elastic. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Thank you. Top Brazilian foods. Feijoada, this is what it looks like. Okay. Couve is the collard greens on the plate. Black bean stew with various types of beef and sausages. Thank you. So it's a heck of a breakfast starter. Beans, pork, rice, collard greens, eggs, orange slices, and rice. Man, oh man. That's like the hungry dish at a breakfast place. Okay. Cohingas, little raindrops of fried goodness, usually filled with chicken and the very creamy cheese called catupiry. Okay, cohingas. Pão de queijo, my favorite, man. That's really, really great. Little rolls of bread with cheese baked into it. But of course, you can do with that cheese too. Farofa, fried cassava flour. It can be include egg, bacon, and other add-ons. Usually a sprinkle of rice and beans. Acai, this is what I'm talking about. Acai. I know Ms. Clarissa said you guys don't know about nutrition, right? A superfood berry used to make fruit bowls and smoothies. Pro tip, blended with bananas and strawberries, topped with granola and honey. So it is a superfood. Man, it's really good. Okay. Binho de chuba, little balls of glorious fried dough sprinkled with sugar and cinnamon. Donut holes. Okay. Bejingo de coco, coconut truffles. Vatapa, spicy cream of fish and shrimp dish cooked in peanut sauce. Oh yeah. Acaraje, black-eyed pea ball fried in palm oil, usually stuffed with shrimp and vinaigrette. Moqueca de camarão, a shrimp stew cooked in coconut milk and palm oil, and veggies such as peppers and tomatoes to complete. Argentina, let's go to Argentina next. That was Brazil, a little short trip, okay? Argentina, brief history, probably the most well-known manifestation of Argentine culture, the Latin dance and music known as tango, originated in the slaughterhouses district of Buenos Aires in the end of the 19th century. Facts about Argentina. It's a federal republic located in southeastern South America, covering most of the southern cone. It is bordered by Bolivia and Paraguay to the north, Brazil to the northeast, Uruguay and South Atlantic Ocean to the east, Chile to the west, and Drake Passage to the south. Argentina is the 8th largest country in the world, the 2nd largest Latin America. Capital Buenos Aires, population is about 43.5 million people. Official currency is peso. Official language is Spanish, although many people speak Italian and German. Some indigenous populations still speak the native tongues. Football or soccer is the most popular sport in Argentina. Major export is wine. Oh yeah. Argentine cuisine is described as a culture blending of Mediterranean influences, such as those created by the Italian and Spanish populations, with very small inflows, mainly in border areas. Indigenous with a wide scope of agricultural products, like abundant in the country. Argentine annual consumption of beef has averaged about 100 kilograms per capita, about 220 pounds of beef. They are carnivores. So you're a vegan, forget it. Don't go there. Okay. What else? In the 19th century, consumption now averaged about 150 pounds in 2007. Beyond asado is the Argentina barbecue. It's like grilled steak. No other dish is more generally matches the national identity. Argentine people have a reputation for the love of eating. Social gatherings that commonly center on sharing a meal. Invitations to have dinner at homes is generally viewed by a symbol of friendship, warmth, and integration. Sunday family lunch is considered the most significant meal of the week, whose highlights often include asado or pasta. Other features of Argentine cuisine is the preparation of homemade foods such as French fries, patties, and pasta to celebrate a special occasion, to meet friends or to honor somebody. So if you go to somebody's house in Argentina, you got pasta or French fries or steak, you know you're special. The traditional locally prepared food is passed on from generation to generation, and homemade food is also seen as a way to show affection. Argentine restaurants include a great variety of cuisines, prices, and flavors. Large cities tend to host everything from high-end international cuisine to bodegones, inexpensive traditional hidden taverns, less stylish restaurants and bars and canteens offering a range dish of affordable prices. Typical foods: dulce de leche is like the caramel sauce. Popular national spread used for filled cakes and pancakes eaten over toast or as an ice cream flavor. Grilled meat from the asado barbecue, so staple with steak, beef ribs, especially common. The term asado itself refers to long strips of flank cut beef ribs, popular such as chorizo, morcilla, blood sausage, chinchulines, chitterlings, mollejas, sweetbreads, and other parts of the animal also enjoyed. The Patagonia, however, lamb and chivito, goat, are eaten more frequently than beef, whose lamb and goats are traditionally cooked over an open fire in a technique known as the asado a la estaca, or at stake. Most common condiment is chimichurri, which we are going to make, but Ms. Rebecca, Ms. Lale, Ms. Trinity, Ms. Patience, Mary, Clarissa, Evil Twin 2.0, Jaden, and Jessica, we're not going to follow the recipe of the portal, okay? We're not going to follow it. That chimichurri, I don't know what it is. This is not chimichurri, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? I'm going to tell you the recipe. So chimichurri, okay? Bread and fried meats, milanesas, are used as snacks and sandwiches or eaten warm with mashed potatoes, puree, empanadas, to small pastries of meat, cheese, sweet corn, and 100 other fillings. Are common side of parties and picnics, or as starters of a meal. A variation of the empanada gallega, Galician empanada, is a big round meat pie made mostly with tuna or mackerel, caballa in Spanish. Vegetables and salads are also eaten by Argentines. Tomatoes, onions, lettuce, eggplants, squash, and zucchini are common side dishes. Italians staples such as pizza and pasta are eaten as common as beef, fideos, noodles, tallarines, fettuccine, and tagliatelle, gnocchis, raviolis, and cannellonis can be bought freshly made at many establishments in the large cities. Italian-style ice cream is served in large parlors and even drive-through business. In Chubut, the Welsh community is known for its tea houses offering scones and torta galesa, which is the torta negra. Okay. Sandwiches, the migas, a delicate sandwiches made with a crusted butter, white bread, very thinly sliced cured meat, cheese, and lettuce. There are other purchased from entrepreneurial homes, cooks, and may be eaten for a light evening meal. Sweet paste, dulce de leche, is another traditional food. Also to fill cakes and pancakes spread over toast and breakfast or soaked with ice cream. Okay. What else? Dulce de leche, the policeman's or truck driver's sweet is cheese with quince, paste or dulce membrillo, dulce de batata, made with sweet potatoes and yams. This is with cheese, Martin Fierro sweet apples, pears, peaches, kiwi fruits, avocados, and plums are the major exports. Okay. So if you're in Argentina, this is the top 10 dishes you must try. Okay. By CNN. Well, beef is the backbone of Argentina's daily diet. There are plenty of other tasty treats, awarding you the world's 8th largest country. Besides taking inspiration from Italian and Spanish immigrants, Argentina's dish also features ingredients from the Andean Northwest, as well as Patagonia in the South. Where to start eating? Here we go. Okay. 1, choripan. Another cheap and cheerful street food hit. Choripan is usually served as an entree as an asado barbecue, but thanks to its hands-on shape, this sausage sandwich with chorizo or sausage steams up with our bread. It is an ideal snack for travelers on the go. You can style it with chimichurri, spicy meat sauce, oregano, parsley, garlic, chili flakes, and white vinegar, or salsa criolla, a tomato, onion, red bell pepper variant. When chorizo is made from pork, boar sausages can also be found in some restaurants. So choripan, okay, almost like the hot dog. Pizza, yes, pizza. Argentina pizza, the world's cheesiest, courtesy of Kentucky. Well, Argentina pies, when we share some physical resemblances with Neapolitan cousins, they have a circulated from a dough base that is where the similarities end. Inch-high crust tend to be light tomato sauce, while over compensating with so much Argentina-style mozzarella cheese, it drips down the side. Garnishes include green olives, oregano, dried chili flakes, an entire cheese, and tomato pizza, something simply referred to as una muzza. Some traditional pizzerias in Buenos Aires are still by the slice, designated to be eaten in a standing in a bar. Customers can also order faina, a filling of sliced chickpea pancake to soak up the gooey cheese. Milanesa, another Argentina dish with Italian influence, milanesa known as escalope in the rest of the world, usually made from a silver side, a round beef from the outside of the leg, a chicken breast, meat is hammered down into a thin cut before being bathed in breadcrumbs, either fried or baked. Toppings, however, raises dish excitement levels. A caballo, or horseback, meats topped with fried egg. A la napolitana ups the ante with cheese and tomato sauce, while la suiza uses Gruyere. Large appetizer, you order completa with ham, cheese, tomato sauce, but best accompanied with French fries and a token of salad, just to be on the healthy side. Provoleta, soft, round provolone cheese. It's fairly bland eating experiences until it's slapped in the grill. Provoleta made from cow's milk then turns into this gooey goodness and its classic started Argentina's asados or barbecue. Grilled in a specialty sized skillet or simple foil dish, provoleta is something topped with oregano and should be slightly crisp on the outside, yet melted in the inside. For creamy yet acidic taste, try the goat's milk provoleta. Asado. No, you can't because it's too. It doesn't have the melting part of that one provoleta. The one you can do with the in that case, it should be queso Oaxaca. You can do like that one, okay? Oaxaca in a ramekin, and that will melt like that one, okay? So, anyways, asado, the best way to assemble the asado, which refers to both a barbecue and the traditional way of grilling beef. It is the most important social event in Argentina, bringing together friends and families over the weekend, okay? A multi-state meal that can be several hours. Entries include choripán, morcilla sausage, proboleta before moving to the organ meats of mollejas, chicholines, and riones, kilis. Building up to the main game, we recommend trying matambrito de cerdo, pork flank steak, dress it with lemon juice before tucking it into one of the several cuts, such as tender ojo de beef ribeye, or sirloin, which comes in the strip with the fat and a tasty asado de tira, short ribs, and full flavor entrana, skirt steak. Okay. While asado at Argentina's home is the most legitimate experience, some restaurants serve the next best thing, a parrillada, which is a small portable grill complete with glowing coals that keeps cuts warm. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is their asado. Okay. It's pretty much grilled steak, but that's their barbecue. Okay. Yeah. The meat eaters. Okay. Meat eaters. That's what asado looks like. Okay. And again, blood sausage, skirt steak, sweetbreads. Okay. Llama. Yes, they do eat llama. Believe it or not, there's a slice of llama hiding with all that pretty foliage. Okay. Eating llama steak is a norm in Argentina's northwest. Even the camelid is well adapted to the Jujuy provinces of 2,000 plus meters above sea level altitude. While its flavor is more rustic and earthy than beef, fat levels are lower, which makes it a healthy alternative. Limu imu. It can be sampled in empanadas or stews or as a standalone steak. Some swanky restaurants even use it as carpaccio or tartar. Limu imu. Okay. Humita, little tamales. Eaten as a savory snack or main course, humita is ultimate corn tribute. Leaf packages are turned to reveal the corn mashed inside. The whole package is either steam or boil. Dating back to pre-Columbian times, humita is eaten around the Andean region, including Chile, Bolivia, and Peru. Made with fresh corn and milk, onions, spices, and sometimes goat cheese added to pep it up. Locro, hearty stew. Locro is a national dish traditionally served on May 25th, it's coming around the corner. The day marking Argentina's May Revolution, made from the white corn, beef, pork, tripe, and red chorizo, as well as other veggies, including white beans, squash, and pumpkin, and seasoned with cumin and bay leaf. This tasty meal in a bowl is an ideal winter warmer. It can be ramped up with a dash of quick chimichurri, a hot salsa made of paprika, spring onions, and chili. Also worth trying, carbonara is a similar dish, includes sweet corns that are served inside a baked seasoned pumpkin. They're so delicious. They're carnivores. Dulce de leche. Some Argentinians would argue that licking dulce de leche, caramelized milk with sugar sauce, from a spoon is a meal in itself. Imagine if it was mixed with chocolate or a little truffle with chocolate. Oh, damn. However, this sweet and sticky salsa actually accompanies desserts such as flan. A better invention of dulce de leche flavors helado, an ice cream parlor that didn't stock it with spoon, will stock it, will soon out of business. The bonus is Argentina's ice cream is thick and creamy, giving the town gelato a decent run for its money. And Haagen-Dazs has it. There you go, dulce de leche. If you're interested in buying that caramel ice cream, Haagen-Dazs does carry it. Chile, the next country. I know. Yeah, don't eat it. Chile, the next country. What did the look at their flag? What does it look like? The Texas flag, right? Similar. Brief history. Capital is Santiago, population is about 17 million. South American country occupying a long, narrow strip of land between the Andes Mountains to the east and the Pacific Ocean to the west. It borders Peru to the north, Bolivia to the northeast, Argentina to the east, and the Drake Passage to the far south. Spain conquered and colonized Chile in the mid-16th century, replacing the Incas in the northern and central Chile, but failed to conquer the independent and central Chile. Much Mapuche that inhabited South Central Chile after declaring its independence from Spain in 1818. Chile emerged in the 1830s as a relatively stable authoritarian republic in the 19th century. Chile today is one of the South America's most stable and prosperous nations. It's earthquake capital of the world too. Fun facts about Chile. Okay. The Valle de Luna in Chile's Atacama Desert is said to resemble the moon's surface. Okay. It's the third largest wood chip producer. 90% of animal species named in Chile are found nowhere else in the world. Native rainforests include the world's second largest temperature rainforest, 1/4 to 1/3 of the world's remaining temperature rainforest in Chile. Aracusia is like Arese. Okay. What else? Along the mountainous regions of Chile, there are over 130 volcanoes, with a number of them still active. Chile is one of the few countries on Earth that has a government-supported UFO research organization. You believe in the total agreement? Okay. Chile has the driest desert in the world. Calama is the town in the desert that has never seen rain. It makes it the driest places in the world. Penguins live on a small island on the north of Chile. Okay. Chilean cuisine varies depending on where you are because of its ecological and climacy diversity. There's a great variety of products available in different regions. All the different regional cuisines are a combination of traditional native Chilean dishes and ingredients. Europeans, and in a lesser extent, Middle Eastern influences created the Chilean Creole cuisine. Because of Chile's long coast, seafood is the main ingredient of its many dishes, mostly in the center of the south of the country. Local crops are the staple of each region cuisine, which have been prepared for thousands of years by native Indians before the Spanish arrived. Among the most important agricultural crops are maize, also known as chocolo, quinoa, and potatoes, which have been cultivated since pre-Inca times, providing nourishment in the altitudes of the Andes. Since the time of the Spanish conquest, Chile has been producing grapes in its rich central region. Grapes for wine. Gastronomy, yes, I'm not Greek. Chilean gastronomy stems mainly from the combination of traditional Spanish cuisine, Chilean indigenous machupe culture, and local ingredients. Most influence from the European cuisines from Germany, Italy, and France. We know that too. In the 17th century, pastry was popularized by the nuns who baked it in convents. A popular saying is, in Spanish, it always says, "Tiene mano de monja." She has the hands of a nun. Comes from this period and refers to someone who is really good at baking or cooking in general. The nuns' pastry recipes fast become popular among the rest of the Chilean population. During the same period, geese and turkeys arrived from in Chile from Mexico, and melons and watermelons came from Jamaica. During the 18th century, Chilean cuisine started to become more sophisticated, particularly among the aristocracy. Tea and coffee began to replace mate. Chilean wine became popular, and people started to drink chicha de uva, a sweet undistilled wine made from fermented grapes and apples. During the early years, Chilean independence, so-called Patria Vieja, Chileans celebrated empanadas, chicha, and red wine, which is still traditional today in the annual celebrations of independence. Although Chilean food has taken much inspiration from its European heritage, has carved a niche for itself in the world's food culture. Chilean food dishes menu is a list of bright, flavorful, and wholesome meals that can put a large smile on the face of any foodie. Mostly comprising of meat, seafood, and veggies. Depending on the dish geographic origin, they are best eaten alongside with wine or pisco, a sour, tangy local drink. Okay. Top 10 dishes from Chile. Empanadas, which we are going to be making. Okay. Are delicious dough pastries, baked or fried, filled with tasty cheese, succulent seafood, beef, olive oil, onions. Most local believes that the secret of making a good empanada is preparing the filling the night before. Chileans are fond of empanadas throughout the year and take a great pride serving homemade empanadas to favor guests. Empanada, that's how you pronounce it, empanada. And that's the way how to fold it. We're not going to use the fork. That's the lazy way. Okay. We're going to fluid fold. And I'm going to show you a demo how to do that. Okay. Humitas, like I said, we went over humitas. Okay. Pastel de choclo. I don't like that one. It used to be in the menu, and thank God they took it off. Okay, it's like shepherd's pie. Pastel de choclo, a South American dish based on the sweet corn and choclo. Pastel de choclo is excellent representation of mestizo, mixed style of South American cooking, inspired from the Spanish style empanada and Andean humitas. Pastel de choclo is a perfect blend of sweet and savory corn pudding bursting with sweet corn, ground beef, olives, onions, and hard-boiled eggs and raisins. So it is cooked ground beef, cornmeal batter that is embedded with hard-boiled eggs and put on top. Shepherd's pie. I said I'm not very fond of that one, but it is what it is. Good. Completos, yes, hot dogs, Chilean style hot dogs. Completos are the Chilean version of hot dogs. If you love hot dogs, you must eat the completos in Chile. Typical Chilean completo is served with tomato, sauerkraut, sausage, and lots of mayo. They eat mayo like it's nobody's business. They dip their French fries in mayonnaise. Pizza with mayonnaise. That's how much mayonnaise they eat. Walk along the streets of Santiago completos in a tall drink to keep you energized. If you're lucky, you might even find a vendor who sells completos with avocado. Ceviche, the wonderful lime marinated seafood. Ceviche is one of the more popular foods in Chile. The Chilean version is made with raw fish like halibut, marinated in citrus juices, and usually served with cilantro, cumin, onions, garlic, olive oil, ginger, and I think fish sauce too. If you want to try something different, you can also go for the old cold shrimp ceviche. It is delicious. I don't even like seafood this thing, but it's good. Asado, I guess the barbecue. Asado is the mother of all barbecues. Chileans are extremely social and love to invite people over the get-togethers. The meat is in asado, usually beef, pork, mutton, or chicken, slow roasted in charcoal grilled for 2 to 3 hours, and is cooked on a sturdy stick that is rotated regularly. Slow roasting the meat makes it succulent and tasty. Try this famous Chilean food barbecue at least once when you're there. So true story, guys. A while ago, I had 4 Argentinians working with me at the kitchen here in Texas. And that's their pastime. So on their days off, they were renting a house in Lakeway, man's married, over there by Loman's Crossing, somewhere over there. And they had the little Weber grill outside with the Kingsford charcoal briquettes, and Juan, there was 2 Juans, the little Juan and big one, and he was starting the grill, landing it up, to have the asado. So he's dousing it with a liquid starter, but it wouldn't start. So he ran out of the liquid starter because it just won't start. So there was almost an empty gas can, a can of gasoline in their garage. So he went and got it and doused it with whatever gasoline was left in the can. As soon as he went to lit it, poof, it shut up like a big ball of fire, and it singed his hairs and his eyebrows and eyelashes. That's what happens when you throw gasoline on the grill, right? It worked, but man, Chorillana. Chorillana is our absolute favorite amongst all Chilean fast foods. Traditional sauteed beef, onions, fried egg, and sausages to a heap of French fries, bring up by the gorgeous twist of the mundane fried potatoes, both in terms of taste and design. Found in almost all bars and loved by locals. Chorillana is one Chilean's food dish you simply have to try. That's like nachos, sunny side up egg, and French fries all together. Man, oh man. Tell you, they're carnivores. Cazuela, favorite of locals, both Spanish and Mapuche origins. Cazuela is the heartwarming broth loved by almost everyone. It is made with large chunks of chicken or beef, pumpkin, potatoes, cilantro, and corn noodles, and slow cooked to perfection. A Chilean comfort food, cazuela is favored by most mothers to ward off the cold in their children. So, cazuela, delicious. Your menu for tomorrow, okay? You are making steak, churrasco. Those of you guys who are picking up your product, Ms. Rebecca. Yeah, so this day they have no dairy on this day. No dairy, no flour, no cheese on this day. Okay. This is a steak with chimichurri. And again, you're not following the recipe in the portal. Okay. And you do have French fries, steak and French fries. The steak doesn't take long to cook because you're going to cook it. How are you going to cook it? What temperature, guys, are you going to cook the steak? Anyone? No. 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 Getting close with a cigar. No. We don't cook steak to 100. We don't cremate the steak. Don't you guys remember when you guys made steak in foundations? At what temperature was a steak cooked at? Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Down. 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 Bingo. 110, 115. Medium rare. And then when you present, you can go back and cremate that steak. Okay. If you like it well done, you don't like it medium rare. Okay. But that steak has to be between 110 and 115 medium rare. Okay. It's going to cook really fast. The chimichurri is not for you to slather the steak and then cook it. The chimichurri is not for you to reduce it and boil it. The chimichurri is a steak dipping sauce. Okay. Dipping sauce. No, you can put it on a part of the steak, but you got to showcase that medium rareness of that steak, right? Don't cover the steak with the chimichurri all the way up, okay? And empanada dulce, okay? I don't know if you still have some of that flour that you got last week, Ms. Rebecca, to make this empanada tomorrow. I don't know if you got vegan butter or shortening. You can make it with it because shortening is not animal. It's not. Oh, it's not animal. It's not lard, but you can probably make it with shortening. And that flour that you took the other day. Okay, so empanada dulce, bananas and peanut butter. That's it. Okay, and you're gonna make strudel dough for the next day because we're going to Germany the next day. Okay, we used to have vegan butter at school about a year ago, Ms. Rebecca. We don't have it no more. But that's another option with your flours that you took the other day. I don't know if you still have some of those or not, but that could be an option. Okay. So that's what we have tomorrow. Churrasco, steak, French fries, chimichurri, empanadas, and strudel. Okay. So empanada is going to take you the longest. Okay. Steak is going to take you like 5 minutes to grill. Chimichurri should take you like 20 minutes to put together. French fries, you know from foundations how long that takes you to make. Okay. But this one is going to take you the longest. So I will start this first. Get the dough out of the way, okay? And then go back, you make your chimichurri and your potatoes, come back and finish the empanadas, okay? And leave them there, okay? And then at the end, you guys know how to make pate brisket, right? Easy does it. That's pretty much true though, okay? Now for the chimichurri, this video is in Spanish. I do apologize, okay? But take a look at the ingredients that she has on this video, okay? That is the exact same recipe we're going to make tomorrow. Okay. The one in the portal is not it. I don't know who made that crap. Okay. So let me find it. Okay. Here you go. Okay. This is your chimichurri for tomorrow. Okay, guys. And again, I do apologize. This video is in Spanish, Ms. Rebecca. You're not going to be able to understand it, even if I put the closed caption. Okay. I'm going to put the link on the chat. Okay. I'm going to put the closed caption, but it's all in Spanish. Okay. So probably do you look good. I don't know if Ms. Thang is going to be able to understand what she's saying. There you go. Okay. Take a look at the ingredients and the technique. Okay. There you go.
Hola chicos, bienvenidos nuevamente a mi cocina. Hoy vamos a preparar un espectacular chimichurri. Este chimichurri se lo dedico para todos ustedes, pero especialmente para todos aquellos que me escribieron por privado que querían saber cómo se hacía el verdadero chimichurri tradicional argentino. Chicos, los ingredientes básicos que necesitamos son perejil, tengo 5 cucharadas que son más o menos aproximadamente 40 gramos, más o menos, ¿eh? Tengo 3 cucharadas de orégano, 2 cucharadas de ají molido, o sea, picante, una cucharadita de pimienta negra, una cucharadita de sal, 2 dientitos de ajo. Por otro lado, en los líquidos tengo un cuartito de agua, de agua tibia,
water,
medio vasito
vinegar,
de vino y
canola
un
oil,
vaso de aceite de girasol. Una cosa a tener en cuenta siempre es que las proporciones del aceite y el vinagre son así. Por 1 de aceite, medio de vinagre, ¿ok? Bueno, chicos, súper fácil. Vamos a empezar. Vamos a mezclar primero todos los secos y después vamos a ir agregando los demás ingredientes. Tan fácil como esto. Ponemos el orégano, le agregamos el ají molido y a esto lo vamos a hidratar con el agua caliente, el agua tibia. Vamos a poner un poquito de agua y lo vamos a hidratar.
What's this here?
Si nosotros no le ponemos el agua tibia, lo que va a pasar es que la agua se hidrate, al vinagre, van a pasar unos cuantos días.
What's that she put in that bowl? What's that green?
Acelerar el proceso poniéndole el agua tibia y todo esto se hidrata y podemos seguir con la receta. Mientras esto se termina de hidratar, le vamos a agregar la pimienta y la sal. Lo mezclamos y vamos a agregarle el ají.
So what she did first was put the water in it, half a cup of water, warm water would be fine, and then put her dry herbs in it, let them sit for a little bit so the the oregano can get soaked up in the water, and then add her chilies and garlic, okay? And right now she's adding the salt and pepper. So you gotta first rehydrate the oregano that is dry, okay? In the water. Let it sit for a few minutes, and then add the other ingredients.
Que lo vamos a cortar en pedacitos bien chiquititos. Bueno, yo lo que hago es cortar el ajo bien chiquito,
And that's the chopped garlic.
así medio cuadriculado, y después lo corto. Ustedes lo pueden cortar en la tabla como sería lo adecuado, pero bueno, es cuestión de costumbres. Ahora cortamos el segundo ajito. Tratemos de cortarlo chiquito, porque queda mucho más sutil cuando estamos comiendo las carnes o lo que vayamos a condimentar, que no nos encontremos con un pedazo de ajo súper grande, que queda medio frito. Chicos, me imagino que más de uno debe estar diciendo, uff, qué olor a ajo que te van a quedar conmigo.
I know, she got fake nails.
Truquito, para el que no lo sepa. Cuchillito de metal y frotamos los dedos así. ¿Sí?
She's showing how to clean that knife and how to wash her hands.
Sin jabón, sin nada, simplemente frotamos los dedos, frotamos mucho, mucho, mucho. Después nos enjuagamos las manos, ponemos un poquito de detergente o jabón y van a ver que no queda ni un poquito de olor en los dedos. Buenísimo, Antropita. Ahora sí, revolvemos bien el ajo y le vamos a agregar el
garlic, and now she's going to put chopped parsley in it, okay? Chopped parsley.
Perejil. Le agregamos todo el perejil y seguido de esto le vamos a agregar por último el vinagre y después el aceite.
Half a cup of red wine vinegar and a cup of oil. Canola oil.
Vinagre.
There you go, red vinegar.
Que le pone limón,
And we also use lemon juice, a little bit of lemon juice, like about a teaspoon or
A
so.
mí me gusta más con vinagre. Hay muchas maneras de hacerlo, ya como les dije antes. Pero esto no se lo pierdan, que va a quedar buenísimo y no se van a arrepentir. Perfecto. Así vamos a dejar que se hidrate un poquito, que el vinagre empiece a absorber, las hierbas empiecen a absorber el vinagre, mejor dicho. Una cosa que les quiero decir, si no llegan a tener vinagre de vino, le pueden poner vinagre común, el blanco, pero lo ideal es el vinagre de vino, porque le da un toque muy característico. Miren, todavía está ahí abajo el vinagre, y a poquito va a ir absorbiendo. Lo ideal para comer el chimichurri sería que lo dejemos de un día para el otro. Cuanto más días tenga así conservándose e hidratándose, el sabor va a ser mucho más rico. Para terminar,
Oil at the end.
le vamos a agregar el aceite de girasol. El aceite de girasol, ¿por qué? Pues si le agregamos aceite de oliva, ya le cambiaría totalmente el sabor, y el aceite de oliva, según qué aceite le pongamos, queda
So no olive oil. Canola oil is your best. Canola or vegetable oil, okay?
hasta un poco amargo. Quiero que vean cómo quedó la textura. Miren, esto es importante.
She's saying, look at the texture, see how it come out.
Ahora ustedes lo van a ver así, que está un poco como líquido. ¿Por qué? Porque las hierbas todavía no terminaron de hidratarse. Se va a poner un poquito más espeso. ¿Se acuerdan cuando les dije en la receta de pizza que yo le ponía un toquecito de aceite de chimichurri?
So that's how your chimichurri should look like, okay? That is the ingredients you're going to use. Red wine vinegar, water, canola oil, dried oregano, parsley, chopped garlic, chili flakes, and about a teaspoon of lemon juice. That is it. 8 ingredients, okay, 8 ingredients. First, you're going to do the dried oregano in the bowl with water to rehydrate it. Then you're going to fold the chili flakes. What else? The garlic, the parsley, lemon juice, okay? Mix it a little bit and then add red wine vinegar. And the last thing that should go in is your oil. That is chimichurri. That's what's happening tomorrow, okay? Don't forget. Chimichurri. When I use the recipe on the portal, okay, guys? That is not no go. Okay. Let me see if I can write the recipe in the chat. Okay, hold on. Okay, so it is dried oregano, 1 tablespoon. Okay. So garlic, flakes, parsley, what else? Water. Simple as that, guys. Chopped parsley, garlic, chili flakes, dried oregano, lemon juice, and oil, and red wine vinegar. Okay, that's it. Okay. Got it? Okay. So that's what's happening tomorrow. Tomorrow's not a hard day. It's easy day, right? Let's take a look at Wednesday. Wednesday, Germany. Germany, we go to Germany on Wednesday, okay? Facts about Germany. Federal Parliament Republic in the Western Central Europe, consisting of 16 constituent states. Capital largest is Berlin. Germany covers an area of about 357,000 square kilometers. The state of Texas in the US is roughly 1.9 times the size of Germany. Okay, that's how big Germany is. Population of about 80 million inhabitants, is the most populous member of the state of the European Union. Germany's most major economic political power of the European continent, and a historic leader in many cultural, theoretical, and technical fields. After the US, Germany is the second most popular migration destination in the world. Okay. German cuisine. What comes to mind when you think about German cuisine? Sauerkraut, bratwurst, German chocolate cake, which is not really German. Some guy in Germany made it. And beer, lots and lots of German beer. Carnivores as well too, okay? There are a lot of differences in cooking traditions with corned beef, potatoes, beetroots, herring, eel soup to the north, okay? Herring. I don't like herring. Okay. Yeah, goodness. Spargel, braten, spatzel, and brotzeit. Late breakfast of those wonderful brown breads and wurst to the south. So spargel is white asparagus. They even have menus around asparagus when it comes in season. Okay. And of course, we know about spatula, right? We made it in foundations. Okay. Hope you guys remember that recipe. Breakfast, Frühstück, commonly consists of bread, toast, and other bread rolls with jam, marmalade and confiture, marmalade or honey, eggs, and strong coffee or tea, milk and cocoa or juice for children only. Okay. Deli meats such as ham, salted meats, and salami are also commonly eaten on bread in the morning, as the various cheeses, variety of meat-based spreads such as liverwurst, literally liver sausage, can be found during breakfast as well. Ooh, liver sausage, delicious. Traditionally, the main meal of the day has been lunch, Mittagessen, eaten around noon. Okay. Dinner, Abendessen or Abendbrot, was always a smaller meal, often consisting of only a variety of breads, meats, or sausages, cheese, and some kind of veggies, similar to breakfast or possibly sandwiches. However, in Germany, as in other parts of Europe, dining habits have changed over the last 50 years. Today, many people eat only a small meal in the middle of the working day at work and enjoy dinner in the evening at home with the whole family. Meat, German Sauerbraten with potato and dumplings, Kobe. Pork, beef, and poultry are the main varieties of meat consumed in Germany. Pork beef is the most popular. Average annual meat consumption is about 130 pounds, among poultry, chicken is the most common. Also, duck, goose, and turkey are also consumed. Game meat, especially boar, hare, and venison, are also widely available, especially in autumn or winter. Lamb and goat are less popular. Meat is usually braised, pan-fried, and dishes also exist. But this recipe usually originated from France and Austria. Several cooking methods used to soften tough cuts have been evolved into national specialties, including sauerbraten or sour toast, involving marinating beef, horse meat, ayo silver, or venison in a vinegar, wine vinegar mixture for several days. Just remember when you brining. A long tradition of sausage making exists in Germany. More than 1,500 different types of sausages. German wurst are made. Most wurst is made with natural casings of pork, sheep, and lamb intestines. Among the most popular and most common are bratwurst, is made with ground pork and spices. The Wiener Viennese, which may be pork or beef in the smoke and fully cooked in water bath, and bloodwurst, blood sausage, or Schwarwurst, black sausage, made from blood, often from pigs or geese. Thousands of types of polkas are also available. There are many regional cuisines, specialties, such as Münchner, Wehrwurst, Munich white sausage, probably Bavaria, and the currywurst, depending on the region, either steamed pork or sausage, or version of the bratwurst, sliced or spiced with curry ketchup, popular in the metropolitan areas of Berlin, Hamburg, and the Ruhr area. Strict regulations governing what may and may not be put there have been enforced in Germany since the 13th century. In the market ordinance, Landhurst 1236, it was set down that only top quality meats could be made into sausages. Okay, not everything goes into sausage, only top quality meats. Fish, smoked sprat or saltwater fish, Alaskan pollock is the most common. Popular freshwater fish in the German menu are trout, pike, carp. I hate carp. And European perch, also listed frequently. Seafood traditionally was restricted on the northern coastal areas, except for pickled herring, which is often served in fresh rotten as roll mops. Pickled herring filled fillet roll with a cylindrical shape around a piece of pickled gherkin or onion, or brathering, fried marinated herring. Today's many sea fish, such as fresh herring, tuna, mackerel, salmon, and sardines, are well established throughout the country. Prior to industrial revolution in the ensuing population of rivers, salmon were common in the rivers in the Rhine, Elbe, and Oder. Fish fingers, known as fish bakken, are popular processed food making made using white fish such as cod, haddock, or pollock, which have been battered and breaded. Hello, Long John Silver's. Veggies, typically serving asparagus with hollandaise sauce and potatoes. Vegetables are often used in stews and vegetable soups, but also serve as side dishes. Carrots, cauliflower, turnip, spinach, peas, beans, broccoli, many types of cabbage are very common. Fried onions are common in addition to the meat dishes throughout the country. Circa 1900, carrots were sometimes roasted in water with the broth used in place of coffee. So see, you guys like to drink coffee. Carrot juice, hot carrot juice with sugar and cream. Asparagus, especially white asparagus, known in German as Spargel, is a common side dish or maybe prepare as a main dish. Restaurant will sometimes devote an entire menu to nothing but white asparagus when it's in season. Spargel season, German spargel spaghettians tradition begins in mid-April, ends in St. John's Day, June 24th. So right now, spargel season is in Germany right now. The top 10 German foods when you go to Germany. It's on my bucket list. Okay, here we go. Spatzel, traditional Slovakian egg noodles. Remember that from Foundations? What-
Spatzel is amazing.
So what does spatzel translate to English? Remember? Little spatzel.
I feel like I remember this. Something about noodles, isn't it?
It's like flour and butter, isn't it, Chef?
Yeah, but what does the word spatzel mean to English? Translate it.
That's all.
Little sparrow.
There you go, little sparrows. I know she Googled.
Okay.
I know you Googled it. That's fine.
Why do you think it took me so long to answer?
You 2.0 alter ego, Google it. So little sparrows, okay? Little sparrows. So here we go. Bratwurst is not surprising. Already on our second place, we have a dish made of pork. Bratwurst is part of every German barbecue and also different from area to area. The most famous bratwurst are for sure the short and thin ones coming from Nürnberg. Really bratwurst, 2 minutes on each side, put her in a bun and add some ketchup or mustard and ready this iconic German dish called Bratwurst Semmel. Also Nürnberg, bratwurst are bigger and contain more fat, but no matter which size, bratwurst are part of every German barbecue party. Currywurst, another sausage in the top 10 things to eat is German list. The world famous currywurst is an institution in Berlin, invented in Berlin by Herta Heuer in 1949. Currywurst usually made with pork sausage, either wrapped in Darm, don't Google that, 2.0. Otherwise, without Darm, cut into thin slices of sausage. Now it's covered and mixed with ketchup and some curry powder. So it's ketchup with curry powder. And it's ready for your first German currywurst. Dressing you need it, accompanied with some French fries and a plain white bread. Okay, so currywurst. Bratkartoffeln. Germans sometimes are referred to as Kartoffeln as a joke because it seems that every day a German is having at least one dish which contains Kartoffeln. While this stereotype is not true, it is true that Bratkartoffeln are excellent way of eating a portion of Kartoffeln in Germany. Slice up some boiled potatoes, slice them thinly, then put them into a frying pan with a lot of oil, bacon and onions, and fry them until they're dark and crispy. Not the healthiest option of your top 10 things to eat in Germany, but definitely not the worst as well. Sauerbraten, a dish I usually get served when visiting grandparents or special occasions. To prepare sauerbraten, you will need some high quality piece of beef and a lot of time. The meat is put in the oven and cooked slowly in its juices for hours and hours. But the slow cooking in low heat will make the meat incredibly soft and tender. Okay. Maltushkin. Rumor has it that back in the day, some monks who were not allowed to eat any meat during the feasting covered some of the meat in kind of a pasta dough so that God could not see that they were eating meat. Little bastard, right? Sly bastards. No matter the story is true or not, believe it when we say that sorbation dish is another fantastic thing to try in Germany. Maltushkin are either boiled or fried and come with all kinds of stuffing like pork, beef, or even a veggie option. Okay. Number 7, Leberkäse. Of course, another dish made of pork meat is Leberkäse. Usually rather serve as a snack during the day or rather during the real meal. Leberkäse is more of a kind of a sausage that is put in the oven for a long time. Then slice it and serve with white bread and some sweet mustard. Very tasty, but also very heavy. Probably not the healthiest German food. Okay. Number 8, Schnitzel. Most popular version of schnitzel is definitely Wiener Schnitzel, which is a thinly sliced piece of veal meat covered with flour, egg, and breadcrumbs, and deep fried on oil or hot butter until it turns golden brown on the outside. Also very tasty, Schnitzel Wiener Art, which is basically the same but with pork meat. But there are many more options on how to prepare schnitzel, which range from chicken breast to soja to blocks to cheese.
Very true. Schnitzel is made in many different ways, and I love them all.
Yep. Rouladen. If you ever want to cook rouladen yourself, we strongly advise you go to the butcher shop and ask them for some ready-made rouladen in order to save you a lot of work. If you want to prepare them yourself, you need some thinly sliced beef or meat, put some mustard, onions, ham, and a pickle inside. Roll them up, put them in the oven to cook for in a sauce for some hours. Rouladen is extremely tasty, but they take very time-consuming to prepare. Goulash. Goulash, one could argue that goulash is not really German invention, but nevertheless, the Germans love the goulash. Many have taken the original recipes and turned them into some variations of their own. Goulash is made with thick pieces of meat that have been slow cooked in a rich sauce, sometimes made of red wine, which makes the meat very soft and tender. Goulash can be eaten as a soup or some side dishes like spätzle. Switzerland, the next one. Switzerland, we go to Switzerland, okay? It's comprised of brief history. Swiss and the Swiss Confederation, it has long history of armed neutrality, has been in a state of war internationally, has not been in a state of war since 1850. Switzerland is also the birthplace of the Red Cross, hence their flag. Home to numerous international organizations, including the second largest UN office. Capital is none, but Bern is considered in facto. Official languages, German, French, Italian, and Romanesque. Population about 8 million. Switzerland has the highest nominal wealth per adult in the world. Switzerland cuisine. Swiss basic food items include a huge selection of bread, white, whole wheat, dairy products such as milk, yogurt, butter, and of course, a great variety of the world's famous Swiss cheese. Every time I see Tom and Jerry cartoon. Also important are vegetables, including beans, carrots, cauliflower, potatoes, spinach, etc. Sausages and meat, mainly veal, beef, pork, chicken, and turkey are served in many different ways, grilled, cooked, or sliced or cut. Side dishes include French fries, rice, potatoes, and different types of pasta. Fruits are available from all over the world. Locally grown fruits include apples, pears, grapes, and different types of berries such as blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, and currants, and strawberries. Finally, there are a lot of sweets, including the second type of food that Switzerland is world famous for, Swiss chocolate, not the Swiss Miss. That is not Swiss chocolate. Top 10 foods from Switzerland. With a mountainous landscape, perfect for decadent ski holidays, vast lakes, and unique climate, Switzerland is in the perfect place for a meal break. It's also home to some hearty traditional cuisine. Whether you visit in Switzerland to enjoy an activity holiday on the slopes or a plumbing for a European city break, a trip is a great opportunity to indulge in some seriously indulgent feastings. Okay, so first one, don't leave without trying fondue. Not for you, Ms. Becca. Fondue. It's Switzerland's may seem a cliche, but it's inevitably woven into the country's fabric. For centuries, Swiss living in the mountains relying on fondue as a way to use bread and cheese during colder months. Today is a must-have for any local visitor in the country. From autumn to spring, dunk rusty country bread into a melted cheeses from Modi or Gruyere Vacheron, infused with lashes of wine, garlic, bubbly over an open flame, paired with a white wine, and chased with a schnapps or tea for an epic winter meal. Like I said, if you guys ever experience that, the restaurant to go to is the melting pot. The melting pot, which you cook your own food, and usually have fondue. Leeks and potatoes and sausages, papet la douce. Leeks, potatoes, and sausages. Okay. Rosti potatoes, thinly grated potatoes, pan-fried until crisp and golden. Rosti is one of Switzerland's iconic national dishes. Though no one knows when the first rosti was cooked up, farmers in the canton or Bern would traditionally eat before breakfast. It is now found throughout the country and across meal times. For a brilliant winter rendition, indulge in roasted balacine. From the canton of Valais, served with a steaming ceramic dish, roasted cheese, and roasted balacine in a delightful agite mashed up to roasted top with salted bacon, fried egg, and melted raclette cheese. Serve alongside tangy gherkins and pickled pearl onions, like hash brown casserole. Basil style roasted flour soup. Yes, flour soup. It was once said that a girl from Basel could not marry until she knew how to make roasted flour soup. Although there are many countless ways to make the dish, it is the most basic. It is simply flour, butter, onion, and beef stock. It's the look there, right? What it is. Top with the reserved grating Gruyere. Legend has it that soup was created when a distracted cook was chatting away, leaving flour cooking the pot until they accidentally brown. Rather than ditch the mishap, it was turned to a dish that has endured. Soup is a must-have at Basel Carnival, which officially is launched with a serving of it at 3 a.m. Party animals. It's velouté, beef velouté. Raclette. Sense of wood-burning fires and pine walk through the Switzerland's rose in cooler months, step into the most hillside haunts, and the fragrance of pungent melted raclette cheese would also greet you. Hailing from the canton of Valais, raclette is a local cheese customarily grilled slowly over a fire with a layer by a melted layer sliced off into the blanket of boiled potatoes, pickled and onions. Contemporary raclette machines are making grilling commonplace in Swiss homes, where friends gather for hours waiting for the slices of raclette to melt, while drinking copious glasses of local Fendon wine. Oh man, oh man. Zurich-style ragu of veal and mushroom. Circa Gestneslestes. Zurich-style diced veal is an iconic national dish that makes a hearty winter time lunch. Made of sliced veal, cow's kidneys, and sweetbreads. Oh yeah. Sauteed in gravy of onions, butter, white wine, cream, and mushrooms. This old school favorite hails from Switzerland's most dynamic German-speaking city, thus finding its way and justified onto the menus around the country. Mixture cream laced with wine or veal. Zurich is places that is known in Swiss German dialect is the like on the piste or off. Oh man, I would love to have that breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Tartiflette was conceived near the French-Swiss border in the department of Haute Savoy, home of the local Revolution cheese. So the cheese dates to the 16th century. Tartiflette was fashionable in the 1980s by the Revolution trade union in an effort to help sagging sales. And it worked. Today's tartiflette is a staple dish at most ski resorts, particularly those in Swiss Romanat. This rustic place of starchy combination of thinly sliced potatoes, smoky bits of bacon, caramelized onions, and oozy, nutty, creamy Revolution cheese, of course. Bern-style Leckerlis biscuits with hazelnuts. Leckerlis have a long and treasured history in Switzerland, particularly in Christmas time. So their ancestors, Lugnish and German sweets, this spiced gingerbread-like biscuits were given a tender hazelnut rendering in the Swiss capital of Bern centuries ago. Sticky, spicy, sweet Leckerli are more worthy than your Swiss culinary bucket list, particularly when dunked in tea. Only in Switzerland does the cheese have a seasonality between September and April, when the mountains are snow-capped. Mont d'Or Batterie pops up with the cheese shops, as it has for over a century. This soft, pungent cow's milk cheese is freshly made with the villages around the Jura region, covered in white wine and garlic, then cooked in this round wooden packaging. Digging into this gooey, creamy cheese served with over boiled potatoes at its delightful winter ritual. Man, oh man, so much cheese. So, okay, we're almost out of cheese. Scandinavia, home of the three kingdoms. Yeah, three kingdoms. Brief history, region of the Northern Europe, characterized by common ethno-cultural Germanic heritage, which includes the three kingdoms of Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. Population is about 20 million. Language, Danish, Swedish, Norwegian, and Norse. Scandinavians, widely known as brilliant. Check this out, guys, okay? Check this out. So Scandinavians, widely known as brilliant designers, have designed and crafted items for the beautification of the table, porcelain, silverware, crystal, and linen. There's a place here in Round Rock that has all those and then some elements. If you live in Round Rock, for 1431 and I-35, you know where it is. You know what I'm talking about. IKEA. You know where IKEA is? Have you been there? Right? It comes from this region. Okay, well, Switzerland, but it comes from this region because they are, again, widely known as brilliant designers. Which you walk in, it's all about design. Craft their answer to the beautification of the table, porcelain, silverware, and crystal linen, especially when you pass the food court. It's all you see, all kitchen stuff, right? You just want to grab a flatbread and go at it. Yep, it's amazing. But IKEA came off of that. Why? What isn't widely known is that they are excellent cooks as well. It should stand to reason, however, that people who care so much about the way the table looks like would also care about the food that is put on it. Respect to the food. My kind of people. Scandinavians, see that? IKEA on the left. Haha. So what's Scandinavian cuisine? It's many things: fish, pork, poultry, and as well as beets, potatoes, cucumbers, dill, parsley, and horseradish. Boiled, baked, and smoked in apples. The cooking is pure and simple. Descendants of the Vikings, but they consume more of the dishes the Vikings ate. Vikings love oysters and mussels. My kind of people. There are savored mutton, cheese, cabbage, apples, onions, berries, and nuts, and all these continue to be staples of the Scandinavian diet. Vikings raised chickens and geese. They hunted wild birds, elk, deer, and bear, as their modern counterparts did. Even a few of them more austere tastes of the Vikings lived on. So yes, IKEA. Top 10 Scandinavian dishes: sourdough bread, red currant squash, and that's how you can make it. Okay? Red currant squash. I'm going to load up this final report later on. Beetroot fritters with horseradish dill yogurt sauce. I'll try those too. Honey yogurt cheese. Gotta try that. Spice meatballs with cranberry compote and yogurt and dill. Berried salmon, also known as gravlax. Okay. Scandinavian apricot almond bars, and they have this when you pay on IKEA, a little store in front of it. They have all these little trinkets there. Pork with rosemary, thyme, and garlic.
Yummy.
Swedish cinnamon butterhorns, cannabular. Your menu for Wednesday. Hello, Spatzel. But
Easy.
here's the thing. Ms. Jessica, Jaden, Clarissa, Mary, Patience, Trinity 2.0, and Lali, plus Ms. Rebecca, do not use the recipe on the portal. Use the recipe from Foundations, because if you take a look at the recipe in the portal, it calls for semolina. That is pasta dough. Right? Spatzel does not have semolina. So again, I see a lot of cameras off. So I see a lot of cameras off. I hope you guys are paying attention, because it's going to come and bite you, guys. Jessica, Jaden. Okay. I know I see you.
Chef, can I use my home recipe like I did last time?
As long as it comes out like Spatzel. Okay. But
Gotcha.
for those of you guys who are with me on campus, I am going to bring my Spatzel maker to campus. I got 3. Okay, so we can use it. Okay. But make sure you clean it and put it back in my table. Okay. Spatzel. Now we're not doing green cabbage. We're going to make cabbage rolls using the outer leaves. Okay. So what you're going to do with this cabbage rolls, we're going to cook steamed jasmine rice. How will we be cooking it? In the oven, right? 1 cup, 1.5 water, cake pan, aluminum foil, pop it in. Okay. We're going to take the rice, uncover, let it cool down a little bit. We're going to mix the ground pork with the rice and the spices that the recipe calls for. Okay. And then we're going to take the outer leaves of the cabbage, blanch them in hot water, and then shock them in ice water. Okay. That is going to make the cabbage leaves pliable. So you'll be able to stuff them like a little burrito. Chimichanga, egg roll, lumpia, doobie, blunt, right? Kind of deal. And then you're going to have your tomato product. Tomato sauce is not cooked. You're going to take tomatoes, canned tomatoes, add the spices, puree it. The bottom of your pan, tomato sauce, cabbage rolls, tomato sauce. Saran wrap, aluminum foil in the oven, 350. It takes about 30 minutes until the inside of the cabbage roll reaches 165 degrees. Take them out, let them cool. Okay. That's the way to make cabbage rolls. Do not mix the rice uncooked rice with the ground pork and try to stuff it, because there's not enough moisture to cook the rice in the ground pork in the cabbage. Always gonna cook the rice beforehand, okay? And then apple strudel, you're gonna make the dough beforehand. You're gonna make it today, okay? And I'm gonna show you a technique, how to make that apple strudel. Let me go back, okay? Apple strudel. We're not gonna take a look at how this lady makes it, but it's all about the technique. Where'd she go?
Chef, are we making streusel, the icing that's usually on top, or are we doing powdered sugar?
Powdered sugar.
Okay. If I have the ingredients, could I make streusel?
If you have the ingredients, yeah.
Okay.
So here we go, okay? Again, we're not following the this recipe, right, guys? Let me because she uses puff pastry. We're not going to go that route, okay?
It's fall, so it's time to cook with apples. I always get really excited this time of year because even though you can have apples all year round, they really are seasonal and they're so much better in the fall. Today's recipe is apple strudel, and it's a very simple strudel using puff pastry for the dough instead of making strudel dough, which is time consuming. So you'll need 3 pounds of apples. You can use Gala or Fuji, which is an unusual apple to bake with, but they hold their shape really, really nicely. If you want to know more about how to choose an apple for any given dish, check out Thomas's video, Kitchen Conundrums, on how to choose an apple. He'll tell you everything you need to know. Cut your apples into thin slices right before you're ready to cook them so they don't discolor. There's no lemon juice in here to keep them from discoloring. And these apples are going to be pre-cooked so that everything comes together really quickly. So I'm going to saute these. Have a pretty large skillet available and melt 3 tablespoons of butter. You know what else is pretty cool about this recipe? There's only 5 ingredients. The apples have a great balance of sweetness and acidity, so you don't need any lemon juice. When your butter is melted, save 1 tablespoon. You're going to brush your pastry when you form your strudel, so just set that aside for a few minutes. Then add your apples to the pan, along with a half a teaspoon of cinnamon and half a cup of granulated sugar. I like this as an alternative to apple pie for Thanksgiving. I mean, not that you need an alternative, but this is actually quite a bit easier than making a traditional apple pie. And I'm all about making things that are delicious, but also really easy to accomplish, so that you don't get stressed out. Cook your apples, stirring around every once in a while until they soften and break down just a little bit, but don't lose their shape, about 15 minutes. When the apples are cooked down, you can pull them down. So what I like to do is put them on a baking sheet, spread them out as thinly as possible. Let them cool a little bit first, and then you can put them in the refrigerator. This needs to cool completely, so you could do this a day or 2 in advance if you wanted to. Just once it was cool, transfer it to a container that's airtight so it doesn't get any weird flavors in the fridge. And then you can shape and form and bake. When your apples have chilled, you can assemble your strudel. Take 1 sheet of puff pastry from a 17.5-ounce package and unfold it onto a lightly floured work surface. It can get a little crazy if it gets too warm, so just throw it back in the fridge if it does. It needs to be about 12 by 14. My hand span's about 8, so I usually just use that as a guide. I'm not overly particular. I don't know if you knew that about me. You don't want to have too much flour attached though, so dust it off as you're going along, but you'll need some, of course, so it doesn't stick, but you don't want to overdo it. This is looking good. Have ready a baking sheet, and you want to put this on your baking sheet and get it back into the refrigerator just to chill a little bit. Doesn't have to be for too long, just a few minutes. Here's the dough, chilled.
Technique, guys, technique.
Apples and spread them over the center. You want to leave like a 1-inch border on either side and then fill the center with the apples. The apples really do need to be completely cool for this. Otherwise, they're just going to melt the puff pastry, which is full of butter, and that will not be pretty. It'll get all gummy and it won't bake up nice. Leave 1 inch on either side. And then you fold the dough in. Fold one edge up. There's some flour on there. You can brush it off. A nice dry pastry brush is great for this. And then the second side, fold over the other side. Like a little envelope. Then what you do is you turn the whole package over. So this is gonna get sealed as it bakes. So just go for it, turn it over. You can fold the ends under just a little bit to seal it. And then the golden, the light on this, brush with that 1 tablespoon of butter that you reserved. And then make some slits in the top for the steam to escape while it's cooking. So 4 nice slits on the top. And then sprinkle with a little bit of sugar, about 2 tablespoons. Have your oven preheating to 400 degrees and bake until it's golden brown and bubbling, 35 to 40 minutes. Allow your strudel to cool for like 10 minutes. You want to serve it warm, but you could rewarm it if you wanted to, and then slice and serve. If you really want to gild the lily, whisk together some confectioner sugar and milk and drizzle it over the top of the glaze. But I don't think you're going to need to. I think you're going to love it just the way it is. It smells like fall. Mm.
And what kind of knife do you use to cut it?
Serrated knife?
Bingo, serrated knife, okay? So that is your apple strudel for Wednesday, okay? You can also do the basket week too, because you know how to do so, okay? So apple strudel, got it, guys, right? Got it? Okay. Thursday. Thursday, I'm gonna give you they're gonna give us a run for our money, right? Thursday, be prepared, guys. Be prepared. Okay. First things first, I'm going to ask you guys, it's production sheet, because if you're not coming prepared for Thursday, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Plain and simple. Okay. If you have a hard time producing on time, you're not going to make it this day because you're not prepared. Okay. Thursday, there we go. Spain, Spanish cuisine. Okay. Brief history. Spain, a country in Europe, a Iberian Peninsula, includes 17 autonomous regions with diverse geographic and cultures. Capital city, Madrid, is home to the Royal Palace and Prado Museum, housing works by European masters. Segovia has a medieval castle, the Alcazar, and an intact Roman aqueduct. Catalonia's capital, Barcelona, is defined by Antoni Gaudi's whimsical modernist landmarks like Sagrada Familia Church. Government's debt is about 97.6 GDP as of 2018. And capital Madrid, population of about 46 million. Currency is euro. Okay. Facts about Spain. Not all Spaniards are native speakers, Castilian Spanish. There are 4 official languages in Spain: Castilian, Catalan, Basque, and Galician. 3 unofficial regions, regional languages: Austrian, Aragonese, and Aranese are still more dialects. Spanish have completely different rhythm from other Europeans. They typically have lunch between 1 and 3 p.m. and dinner around 10. They love to eat and they love a food, okay? Flamenco is not actually a dance. It is a musical style which sometimes has dancing in it. 58 million tourists go to Spain every year, making it the 4th most visited country in the world. Spain is renowned for its lively festivals, including San Fermin, Running with the Bulls in Pamplona, and Tomatina, Tomato Battle in Buñol. More than 150,000 tomatoes are usually thrown at La Tomatina. Official name of Spain is Kingdom of Spain. The national anthem of Spain has no words. There are no laws about public nudity in Spain. Cochinos. 43% of the world's olive oil production is done in Spain. Spain won its first World Cup football in title in 2010, which makes the country the 8th country to have ever won. The tooth fairy is a mere rodent in Spain, referred to as Ratoncito Perez. They got a rat as a tooth fairy. A favorite of all the interesting facts about Spain, breaks, free time, and siestas are a huge part of everyday Spanish culture. Spain was the world's third most popular tourist destination. Traditionally, you have two surnames in Spain. The first surname from your mother and the second from your mother, father and mother. Spaniards celebrate the New Year by eating one grape with their family for each bell strikes of the clock. The quill pen is thought to have originated in Spain about 1400 years ago. The Spanish often used gestures with or with substitute for words, flicking the teeth with the thumbnails, wiggling fingers from the nose, and grabbing the left arm with the right arm while making a left-handed fist, although thought to be offensive. Right? Madrid is the physical center of the country, and the Plaza Puerta del Sol is exactly the center of the country. Spain has the second highest number of bars per inhabitants. Do not be alarmed by a dirty floor in the bar. It is completely acceptable and normal to throw things on the ground in bars. Most of the time, the dirty floor means good bar. Nasty. Tortillas in Spain are not the same as tortillas everywhere. Tortilla española refers to a very popular egg and potato dish. Spaniards use the word tortillas to refer to flour corn tortillas. We are going to be making tortilla española. Most households buy fresh bread every day. Traditionally, they are long baguettes called barras or pistolas. Bread is present and required almost every meal. Okay. Tomatoes, potatoes, avocados, tobacco, and cacao for chocolate were all imported in Europe by Spain. Though Spain is more famous for its red wine than white, the majority of vineyards have white grapes. Spain is one of the world's biggest producers of saffron, an important ingredient in paella. The family is the basis of the social culture that includes both the nuclear and extended family, which sometimes provides both social and financial support network. The majority of Spaniards are formerly Roman Catholic, although different religious beliefs are accepted. People are often referred to as Don or Doña in the first name with their formal occasions. If invited to a Spaniard's home, you can bring chocolate, pastries, cakes, wine, liqueur, brandy, or flowers to the hostess. In business, face-to-face contacts prefer to written or telephone communication. Despite the beret being associated with France, the Basque is the Northeast Spain's invented it. It is not customary to tip Spain, especially for cheap meals. Barcelona has 50 million visitors per year, while Madrid has about 6 or 7. Madrid-Barcelona route was the highest number of flights per week in the world. Spain has more than 8,000 beaches. The name Spain diverged from the word España, which means the land of rabbits. Spanish people are very good, fond of food. Famous saying is barriga llena, corazón contento, which translates to a full belly and a happy heart. Okay. So their cuisine, traditional Spanish cuisine, is down to earth, uncomplicated food that has based on ingredients available local of the crops are grown generally. Mountains run through Spain in several directions, acting as natural barriers to communication and marketing transportation difficult. Until the last 20th century, this is just sort of one reason why cooking differs from much of the region. Another is the fact that Spain was created by hunting in many small kingdoms, each with their own traditions. Many dishes are prepared today using the same cooking methods and ingredients that they had 200-300 years ago. They love their olive oil and more olive oil. You will see. Like Romans, the Arabs who conquered and lived in Spain for 800 years made fabulous contributions to Spanish cuisine. And their influence is seen in many recipes. All the dishes sprung up from European and American influences were adapted to the Spanish taste. One thing's for sure, food in Spain is fresh, abundant, and full of flavor. And the Spanish love their food dearly. Okay? The basic ingredient in Spanish food is olive oil and garlic, because Spain has every very distinct geographical region that's settled by different ethnic and cultural grounds. And because the weather varies from province to province, the regional cuisines are very different. Many times, the only common ingredients is the olive oil and garlic. Here's the list of ingredients in the foods. Okay, olive oil. Spanish recipes either call for olive oil or lard, mainly olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is worth the added expense. Spain is a leading producer of olive oil, and olives are grown all over the south of Spain in the region of Andalusia. Many typical Spanish dishes are fried in olive oil. Ham, or the Spanish say jamón, is a very prized food. Spaniards take their ham very seriously and will pay a high price for top quality ham. You'll see different types of menus in supermarkets, but typically It will be jamón serrano or ham from the Sierra Mountains. Learn about jamón español and where to buy it outside of Spain. Fish and seafood, because Spain is located in the Iberian Peninsula, surrounded with 3 sides of water. Fresh seafood is always plentiful in markets. The Spanish eat fish or shellfish daily. Everything from halibut to shrimp and even octopus and baby eels is common in the markets and the restaurant menus. Cheeses, wonderful cheeses every time can be eaten in Spain. Spanish cheeses are made from sheep, cow, goat, mixed milk. Types range from aged cheese such as manchego from the Mancha to the soft, creamy cheese such as tetilla from Galicia and everything between. There's blue cheese from the mature in the limestone caves such as cabrales. Cheese can be eaten as tapas as well as during meals or for the dessert. Okay, sausages. Spanish love sausage, especially chorizo. A pork sausage made with paprika. Again, there are many types of chorizo, from the fresh to the soft smoke age. Every local market offers variety. And Spanish families love to make their own wine, with their own in the wintertime and hang it to sell it in the attic to dry. The preparation and spices used in Spanish chorizo are very different from the chorizo made in Mexico and the Caribbean. Beef, lamb, and pork are all 3 types of meat in common that can be roasted, grilled over the coals, or sauteed in sauce. Generally, Spanish prefer veal or suckling lamb or pig. Roasted meats are a popular dish at holidays and festival occasions. Eggs are eaten either daily, either fried, deviled, or Spanish omelet called tortilla española in Spain. They are an essential part of many recipes, including desserts and salads. Chicken is very popular. It's prepared in every way, but most commonly is fried or stewed. Although roasted chicken is sold to go in many small stores. Fruits and veggies. Spanish people eat lots of fresh fruits and snacks, or as their last course of the meals. In fresh fruit bowl sits every kitchen. Simple salads and sauteed vegetables are eaten every day. Popular dishes include sweet peppers, eggplant, and zucchini. Legumes, beans, all types are eaten regular. Beans and chickpeas, garbanzo beans, have been a staple in the peninsula for centuries in the rye bread and the most commonly eaten food. The most famous Spanish bread dish is probably cocido madrileño, which is a classic garbanzo pork sausage noodle stew from Madrid. The list of ingredients: nuts. Spain is one of the top producers of almonds, hazelnuts, and walnuts. Almond-based milk-based desserts are very common. Turrón, the almond nougat candy eaten at Christmas, probably the best known of this sweets. Many Spanish recipes are Arabic origin, containing ground almonds, and almonds were used, for centuries to thicken sauces and stews. However, in Spain, hazelnuts, not almonds, are the most popular mixed with chocolate. Herbs and spices, garlic, onions, and herbs, oregano, rosemary, and thyme are used with garlic more than others. Cooking methods: cocido, olla, pote, guiso, estofado, escullada, and Spanish terms of stew. There's one dish that could be called characteristic of Spain, although each region has its own version. The Spanish will not only eat stew, they roast, fry, saute many foods not as common as bake or broil, although they do grill meats on the metal plate or charcoal grill. Okay. Now the Spanish say to wish everyone a good meal, buen provecho. Here we go. Okay. I love Spanish food. Top 10 foods of Spain: gazpacho, the reddest, ripest tomatoes, olive, garlic, red peppers, cucumbers, blended as the silky smooth, then chilled and poured into their bowl glasses. So delicious and refreshing. In Andalusia, southern Spain, people have every day in the summertime, and there's always a jug on the counter tapas bar. Also try some morejo from Cordoba, thicker version that something served pieces of Iberico ham on the top. Gazpacho is a chilled cucumber tomato soup. Delicious. Paella. Valencia region, they claim that you can eat every different rice dish every of the year, but let's stick with the most traditional version of one now. Ingredients of paella Valencia include chicken or rabbit, saffron, runner beans, and butter beans, but all the important elements of the rice, ideally the bomba or the casapalabra varieties grown in Spain, East Coast, which are particularly good for absorbing the flavors. Call it arroz con pollo, jambalaya. That's what it resembles. Tortilla española, we'll be making it this day. Eggs, potatoes, onions, that's it. And some purists even consider that adding onions is a gastronomic crime with a higher order. The Spanish omelet is so much more than the sum of its parts. Potatoes and onions are slowly fried in olive oil and mixed with the beaten eggs for the flavors to mix together before cooking. Chorizo, ham, spinach, courgettes, or whatever you have to hand, make a tasty meal next to nothing. Okay, tortilla española, we're making it. Gambas al ajillo, sauté shrimp and garlic. You walk into a Tapa bar, the barman is standing in the customer in an earthen dish, so sizzling prawns. The tantalizing aroma hits your nostrils, and you just have to order some more. To create that at home, just fry some garlic and green chili in olive oil, throw some prawns, and a couple of minutes, add some parsley. Could be simpler than tasty than that. Tostas de jamón, de tomate jamón. Black pigs roam among the home oak trees in the western Spain in search of acorns that give the marble Magneta Iberico ham its distinct and nutty flavor. Rub some thick pieces of toast with garlic, tomato, pour some olive oil on top with some slices of jamón and quick, delicious lunch. If you like prosciutto ham, you will definitely love jamón serrano ibérico. It's way, way better. Patatas bravas, perhaps the most ubiquitous of tapas. Patatas bravas vary quite a bit around the country, but all versions include chunks of fried potato. In Madrid, brava sauce is made with sweet and spicy pimiento, Spanish paprika, olive oil, flour, and stock, but never tomatoes. Some people add garlic, some a dash of Pinot Sherry, while others selfishly insist on keeping their secret ingredients to themselves. Pollo al ajillo, garlic with shrimp. Chicken with garlic. Any Spaniard will tell you that the best garlic chicken ever is in the grandmother makes. And of course, they are right. Unpeeled garlic, cloves of garlic are fried in olive oil to flavor it. Then taken out before adding piece of chicken. When that's cooked, the garlic goes back with some rosemary, thyme, and some dry sherry or white wine. But there's no defined recipe of this much loved dish. Cochinillo asado, suckling pig. People might claim they are going to Segovia to see this outstanding Roman aqueduct, fairy tale castle, or elegant cathedral, but really all they're just about to build an appetite for lunch. And in Segovia, that means either roast suckling pig or lamb. The meat is cooked in a huge wood fire ovens, and it's so tender it's cut with the side of the earthen plate. Pisto, the Spanish version of ratatouille, turns up all over the country in different guises, but most typical is the towns of the villas across the plains of La Mancha, south of Madrid. Onions, garlic, courgettes, peppers, tomatoes, and slow fried in olive oil. This is not a dish that likes to be rushed. You should serve with a starter, sometimes with fried egg chorizo, but it's a great side of dish too. Turron. Spaniards devour massive amounts of turron, an almond nougat at Christmas. Although it's available all year round, most of it is made in the small town of Gijona, of the province of Alicante, using locally grown almonds mixed with honey, egg white. There are two basic types: a soft, smooth version called Gijona, and the hard Alicante turron, which contains pieces of almond. And your menu for Thursday, this is where it gets interesting, guys, okay? So menu for Thursday, what's that? Okay. Here we go. Tomato bread. Twice the amount of yeast. Got it? Jessica, Jaden, Mary, Clarissa, Patient, Trinity, 2.0. And of course, Ms. Rebecca Holy has some other flour. Twice the amount of yeast because it has tomato juice. Tomato juice is heavier, and tomato juice also needs to be at 90 degrees Fahrenheit to activate that yeast. Okay. Sofrito, chop it up, saute it. Okay. Easy to make. That's two recipes. Roast pork loin, you got a pork chop. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay. 3 recipes. Smoked tomato, red pepper coulis, 4 recipes. That's what it's supposed to look like. Tortilla española, 5 recipes. This day is heavy, guys. This day is loaded. Be prepared, okay? But going back to the beginning, okay? You guys are going to take this menu and this recipe, follow the recipe, present it tapas style, okay? Tapas translated to English means cover. Back in the days at the taverns, bartenders used to put a little napkin on top of a wine glass so the fruit flies would not get into the wine glass. But the wind would blow the napkin off, then started putting a piece of bread on top of the wine glass so the fruit flies would not get into the wine glass, right? They noticed that people were asking for more beverages because the bread would make them thirstier. Then they added a piece of jamon, which is salty, okay? Sometimes cheese on it, a piece of bread and cheese, but the cheese was extra pungent and strong to mask the flavors of the aroma of the cheap wine that they were serving. So tapas means 1 to 2 bites. If you don't know tapas, go back to Canopy Day in 201. That's what tapa means, okay? So you're going to deconstruct this menu and present it tapa style, okay? Maybe take the bread, slice it, cut it with a cookie cutter, a little bit of sofrito. That's a tapa, okay? Maybe a little piece of bread, cut it, piece of pork, and sofrito. That's a tapa, okay? Maybe a little piece of potato, make it, cut it, small little square, put some other pepperculi, that's a tapa, okay? So we are making this menu to a tapa. You're going to deconstruct it and make it tapa style, okay? Now let's take a look at tapas of Andalusia, so you guys get a general idea of tapas, okay? There we go, okay? Tapas of Andalusia, here we go, guys, okay?
Say the word tapas to an American chef, and chances are they'll respond by thinking Spain. But say tapas to a Spaniard, and most likely they'll come back with Andalusia. So what are tapas? While the actual origins may be lost to history, many people believe that tapas custom actually originated right here in Andalusia. But what are tapas? And how did this tradition of tapeando begin?
Okay, Miss Bougie, this is where you should shine, okay? Okay, Miss Lali, whether you guys like to be bougie, this is where you guys should shine, Miss Patience, okay? All of you guys, okay?
Going from bar to bar, catching up with friends, having a little bite of something delicious, and a glass of chilled Pinot Sherry, or nowadays, more often beer, to wash it down. According to Enrique Becerra, owner of Becerra Restaurant and Tapas Bar in Sevilla, tapas began in aristocratic clubs in Sevilla where no drinks were served. Waiters were sent out for a glass of sherry to quench the noble thirst. Returned with a glass covered with a tapa, a lid, on which there might be a slice of delicious jamón ibérico or a slice of Andalusia's traditional goat's milk cheese.
The glasses of cherry wines come tapped with a paper for the dust of the sweet. But when the days of wind, the paper was flying. What made the people of the bar put it on the paper, bread and ham or cheese or chorizo?
Tapas might be as simple as a plate of almonds fried in the region's best olive oil, or a plate of green olives, or big red shrimp grilled a la plancha on the flat top. And any kind of fried fish is always welcome. Or the Spanish classic tortilla, a thick omelet packed with potatoes and onions, cooked in olive oil. Tapas are often served in Spain, in Sevilla, where no drinks were served.
So take a look at this short segment. I'm going to pause it when it comes to it, but this is how you're going to make the tortilla española, okay, guys? I'm going to pause it when it comes about, okay?
A lid, on which there might be a slice of delicious jamón ibérico or a slice of Andalusia's traditional goat's milk cheese.
The glasses of cherry wines come tapped with a paper for the dust of the sweet. But when the days of wind, the paper was flying. What made the people of the bar put it on the paper, bread and ham or cheese or chorizo?
Tapas might be as simple as a plate of almonds fried in the region's best olive oil, or a plate of green olives, or big red shrimp grilled a la plancha on the flat top. And any kind of fried fish is always welcome. Or the Spanish classic tortilla, a thick omelet packed with potatoes and onions, cooked in olive oil. Tapas are often self-contained dishes, and the way they are served will influence the recipe. Are they appetizers, snacks, finger food, canapes? Tapas are all of those and more, a model of the easygoing Andalusian way of life, and an example of the region's incredibly mixed background, and a great way to experience a lot of different flavors in one sitting, or standing, as they often do. The quintessential tapa, one that's offered just about everywhere, from the most down-home taverns to upscale bars in the sleek hotel lobbies, is simply called tortilla, not to be confused with Mexican tortillas. It is a sort of flat omelet made with potatoes and onions, richly fried in olive oil.
Here we go, okay, guys? Pay close attention. Trinity, Patience, Jaden, Jessica, Mary, Clarissa, 2.0. This is your tortilla española for Friday. Got it, Miss Trinity? Jaden? Jaden,
Heard.
Yes, chef.
Jaden. Mr. Mitchell, you go live?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just cooking something real quick.
Pay close attention, man, because you don't want to turn in an inferior product this day, okay?
Yeah, I was paying attention to it also, though.
Here we go. Tortilla española. Is Jessica? Jessica,
I'm here, chef. Sorry.
you guys are going to take a big hit on this day. I'm telling you guys what, okay? Take a look.
Maria
Okay.
Castillo makes her tortilla in the classic way, starting with plenty of olive oil. In this case, she uses Castillo de Canela's own picual. She adds potatoes to the hot oil, then onions and a little salt, and cooks the vegetables together until they are thoroughly soft. 3 eggs are beaten together, and then the potatoes and onions, drained of their oil, are added to the egg mixture. Now a little fresh oil is added to the pan, then the eggs, and finally the moment of truth. It takes great dexterity to flip over this tortilla, but Maria has been doing it about once a day for many years. It is then cut in wedges for service. Indeed, some authorities claim it as the true height of Spanish and Andalus.
Got it? This is why it cannot be made with the egg replacement, Mr. Rebecca. You need that custard to hold the potatoes and onions together, okay? You're not gonna be able to make it. You won't make it because you need that egg. And I know how you are with the allergies. You can't make this one, okay? But all of you guys are gonna use a non-stick Teflon pan. Makes it a lot easier to flip that tortilla española upside down. But you gotta control that heat. Cannot be burned, okay? You gotta slowly cook it and then turn it upside down with the lid, okay?
Fian gastronomy. Tapas can also be avant-garde.
Oh, my favorite.
That is
This is where the bouginess should kick in for you guys. Here we go.
restaurant A Poniente in Puerto de Santa Maria, Chef Angel Leon elevates the humble sardine, a worker's lunch staple. He grills it gently over a surprising combination of olive pits and pine cone scales that imbue the fish with their fragrant smoke as it's brought to table.
For this dish, we have marinated the sardine in olive oil, sherry vinegar. We will finish the sardine by smoking it with these olive pits and pine cone scales. It will give us a very interesting layer of flavor when we smoke the sardine. So we take the roasted eggplant and we spread it over a slice of magrevi bread. That is a bread that we prepare here and it is olive oil based. Some salt, some oil. We place it here directly so that it can be taken into the ragnarok. The idea is not to smoke the product that much. The fishing industry tends to prepare the products with a very heavy flavored smoke, and we are all very used to this, but the idea here is to have a very subtle flavor that seeps into the fat of the sardines and therefore have a pleasant flavor that lingers in your mouth.
At Restaurante Santo, in the heart of historic Sevilla, Chef Baltasar Diaz offers a tapa that is made from foie gras, smoked veal, and caramelized eggs, served with a cream cheese spread. Elegant, simple, and delicious. Chef Danny Garcia at Calima in Marbella serves a tapa that epitomizes the very function of tapas, in that it always sparks conversation. A playful and flavorful twist on caviar.
Of the form of the caviar is here. There is a very special truffle caviar. It's a black truffle caviar. We put here. And then we have almond caviar, okay, with almond. The white caviar, okay, and it's a very special joke. And the white caviar is almond. The black caviar is truffle, and the real caviar cream. This is the Calima Rio Frio caviar.
Most people assume that tapas are small portion dishes, and in most cases that is true. And we serve tapas ya sabemos. Sometimes they are served as platters shared at the table, like at La Azotea in Sevilla.
Because we got a really small kitchen, at the table, we serve half plates or big plates. What we want, what we explain to the people that sit, they have to share. I mean, they don't have to share, but we suggest to share because it's more fun. And you know, that thing they share, let me try this. So we put the plate at the middle always.
Shared platters are not only a style of eating, but also a way of socializing. But remember that traditionally, these are small bites. Tapas don't take the place of a meal, and they're more like a way of being social before the real meal begins. A favorite tapa at Castillo de Canena is a ceviche of small raw shrimps with diced vegetables and apples. It's a simple dish of combining high-quality ingredients: diced red onion, sweet red pepper, and the tender, sweet little shrimps that come from just off the mouth of the Guadalquivir River. Larger shrimps could be used, cut into smaller pieces, but they must be as fresh as possible, not frozen. Maria adds minced cilantro and minced chives, and finely grated ginger for an unusual touch, along with salt, ground cumin, and the mere whisper of cayenne, freshly squeezed lime juice, and a healthy dose of diced fresh apple. And it all gets stirred together, piled into a cocktail glass. And finally, a good dose of Castillo de Canena's Arbequina olive oil. At Malaga's Michelin-starred Café de Paris, José Carlos Garcia prepares a hard-shell clam called concha fina, which the chef says is very commonly served as a tapa in bars all over Malaga. It's prepared very simply, in order to preserve and savor the fresh flavor of raw clams.
So the first thing we do in order to open the clam is scare it. We scare the clam by giving it a couple of gentle knocks on each side of the shell, so the muscle contracts. And then we cut it in half. We have 2 even sides. This is the first step. So let's knock it and quickly cut it in half. So now we have to cut. There's a muscle on each side, and we have to cut both of them out of the shell. So this part here is the only part we don't need. All we're going to do is add a couple of drops of lime, a little bit of pepper, and we will pair it with a cocktail, but not a regular one. It is a cocktail prepared with a very innovative and contemporary technique. We have mixed tequila, lime, and triple sec, and a little bit of soy lecithin. And with the aerator, we will incorporate air to form a light foam. Usually, this is drunk as a liquid, but we will be serving it instead on top of our clam. This dish is meant to be eaten with your hands, from hand to mouth. And once again, you can see how we infused contemporary modern techniques with a traditional local preparation.
At Restaurante Choco in Córdoba, Quisco Garcia makes a similar statement with a single oyster. This too is a dish that is served as a tapa.
We take the oyster and marinate it in a little bit of pepper, soy sauce, and vinegar from Montilla for just a bit, 5-6 seconds at the most, just so it acquires the flavors without overpowering it. A contrast that we really like is a lemon peel candy that we have placed right here. And now my favorite part. This is the oyster cold water from its shell.
Es su propia agua, el agua de la opción, y un poco de
And a little bit of soup or consomme made with Iberico ham. It is very strange when you put it in your mouth because you can get the briny notes of the oyster and the salty ones of the ham that strangely complement each other, bringing out really interesting flavors in the oyster. We also place a little bit of the water from the oyster, which we have aerated with a turbo mix. Got these oysters with an Iberico ham broth and cured lemon.
This dish would be especially delicious with a glass of dark and fragrant oloroso sherry, in contrast with the briny directness of the oyster. One distinctive contribution to tapas gastronomy comes from Granada. Local food writer Pablo Amate explained that in Granada, the idea of a free tapa with each drink still holds true, and the tapas are often very elaborate indeed. Granada may be the last place in the world where food comes free with drinks, but it's a most welcome tradition. 1, 2, 3 drinks, each with a different tapa. And then it's time to move on to the next lively scene. 1 tapa per person and a different one with each drink. Then everyone enjoys tasting and sharing. The idea is to keep moving. Stop at this bar for a plate of coquines, tiny clams with equally tiny artichokes. Go on to another bar to taste the boquerones in vinagre, white anchovies marinated in aged sherry wine vinegar, garlic, and parsley. In other parts of Andalusia, you have to pay for your tapas, but you'll still find it a great way to dine out without spending a lot of money. One important piece of the puzzle. Tapas are definitely, and above all else, a social occasion. No one ever goes out for tapas on their own, unless they expect to discover a collection of similar-minded friends. Enrique Becerra explains another important aspect. 1 tapa never suffices, and 1 bar for tapas seldom suffices either.
The action of change of bar, change of company, talking with the friends, with the family. Normally, when in Seville we say we are going to Tapeo, it's a minimum of 3 or 4 bars, and each bar has its own specialties. We will start normally with the bars of seafood and charcuterie. Later we change for a bar of fried fish, and the last bar is normally the bar of a restaurant because we finish with the cooking tapas and small desserts.
Americans may be captivated by tapas, and we have adopted them with enthusiasm. Many American restaurants have discovered that putting 4 or 5 tapas on a menu, maybe even featuring them as a mini tasting menu, is a great way to satisfy loyal customers.
What do you guys think?
Interesting to say the least.
This should get your wheels spinning. If anything, there's a link. You guys want to grab it and watch it later on. Watch it and rewatch it. Okay. But again, when we talk about tapas, anything can be tapas. But we're going to turn our menu into a tapas. Okay. We're going to present a tapas style. That means that we have those 3 little square platters, right, Ms. Lali? On campus? Those are 1 link. My bad. Let me go back and get it. Let me replay it. No, it's the right link. Here we go. So again, tapas this day, okay? So you're gonna present this menu tapas style, but on this day, the first thing you should do is get that bread going, get the bread dough going and proof it, okay? While it's proofing, the next one is your coulis. Get those peppers roasting, okay? Get it mixed out, get it roasting, okay? So bread first. Really? The strudel? The fuck? Sorry guys, the screen is having an issue with the tapas menu, the tapas link on the video. me see if I can pull it up again. Okay. That's the one. Okay. So anyways, let me go back to what I was saying. How to better attack this day. Oh, that's the wrong day. Okay. First things first is get your bread dough going. Okay. Get it going. That's got to prove. The tomato juice has to be sitting between 90 to 110 degrees to activate the yeast. Okay. So you got to reheat it, but very slow, very short. Because if it goes overboard 150, 160, then you have to wait longer to cool it down. You cannot add ice water to it. So you got to really baby it, almost like scalded milk, to get that tomato juice to 90 to 110 degrees. Then activate the yeast, then add your other ingredients and make that dough in the mixer with the hook. You're going to proof that dough, but twice the amount of yeast because you need that extra leavening boost because tomato juice is really heavy. Okay. So tomato bread dough first, sauce next, coulis sofrito third. Okay, that's the third one on the list. It's all about knife skills and cooking it, reducing a little bit, and your pork last. Okay. Oh, potatoes last. Okay. Potatoes last. The pork you got pork chops. They're gonna cook really easy. Okay. So tortilla española next, and the pork last. Pork should be the last one. Because the coulis can stay, the sofrito can stay, the bread is done. What else? Sofrito, bread, pork, and coulis, all those can hold. And then you got to go to the española. Okay. So once you get the tortilla española, it's done. Then go ahead and cook your pork. Okay. You can saute, you can grill it, whatever. It doesn't have to be roasted. This is pork chop. It's going to cook really, really fast. Okay. You can do whatever you want with the pork. And when you start assembling your plates, let's go tapas, okay? Tapas, small bite size. You saw the theme, you saw the ideas, get your mind spinning because we're gonna do this a tapas day, okay? Tapas day. A while ago, one of my students, he went tapas on this day and we had a gazpacho on top of this menu. So how he made the gazpacho, he brought some shot glasses, put the gazpacho in it. He had some cucumbers left over and basil. So he liquefied the basil, added some soy lecithin, and made it into a foam. Took the cucumber, added some aspic, and made it into a gelatin drop. But he didn't have an aerator. What he did, went to Walmart, bought one of those fish tank air pumps, and used it as instead of an aerator. $7 for the fish pump. Used it instead of an aerator, made that foam. Shot glass. On top, the basil foam, in the bottom of the spoon, a little gelatinized half little dollop of cucumber gelatin or aspic. It was something else, but it was really something else. So again, get your wheel spinning of how you're going to present this menu tapas style. This is where you should have fun. Yes, it is what, 5 recipes. You got your bread, okay? First things first, okay? Then the coulis second. Then you got the sofrito third, potato 4, and the pork 5th in that category. That's how you should attack this menu. And you got to come prepared, guys. Okay. There's Chef Emily's in the kitchen this day. So you better hit the ground running as we start. Those of you guys at home, you can start at maybe at 1 o'clock and get this bread going to get you guys ahead of the game so you can finish. Those of you guys online, I can say you got to hit the ground running because this is so fast and furious. It's going to go by really fast. Yeah. So got to get it going. 5 recipes on this day. It's heavy, but think about how you're going to present it. Okay. Any questions on this menu?
No, chef.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Never ready until it's time. Always.
You have time at your home to get some of this stuff. Yes, online, get time to get it started before class. Fortunately, we don't have that luxury, but we're going to press it, right, Lali? Right, Miss Jessica? Right, Miss Mary? We're gonna hustle to get it done, right?
Yep.
All right.
Of course.
So that is your menu for Thursday, okay? We're throwing out the window the old school plating. We're gonna go tapa style this day. Have fun with this day, okay? Okay. Friday. Guess where we're going Friday? Oui, monsieur. Okay. Friday, France. Okay. Day 15. There goes the third week. Okay. Facts about France. It's one of the most popular tourist destinations. 2016, the country had 82.6 million international visitors, which was 7 more than both the US and Spain. The main attractions are, of course, Paris and Disney, but also French Riviera, Alsace, and lovely wine regions. 2, most time zones in the world. Did you know that France uses 12 different time zones? That'd be confusing as a mother, right? At first, you might sound like shocking, but if you think about it, it's not that strange since French have colonized a big part of the world within the French territory in Europe. Only one time zone is being used, but accounting all the areas outside Europe, is switched over 12 different time zones. These areas include Martinique, Guadeloupe, French Polynesia, French Guiana, Reunion of New Caledonia. Okay. Several famous inventions of France. Among the many inventions, some notable ones are the hot air balloon, pasteurizer, stethoscope, and the parachute. Each of these has changed the world. In recent years, there's more particular famous French inventions, namely the cell phone camera, which was first developed by Philip Kahn back in 1997. 4, more than half of the world's roundabouts are in France. Pretty funny fact about France, at least of us for Sweden, those have roundabouts, but however, the roundabouts have taken off a few steps further with more than 30,000 rounds in total, which represents a little more than half of the world's roundabouts. France is the first country who forbade supermarkets to throw away burnt or unsold food. Back in 2016, the historical decision was made where France became the first country in the world to ban supermarkets and food stores from throwing away burnt or unsold food. From now, all redundant food must be donated. Isn't that awesome? The guillotine was the official execution method until the death penalty was abolished. The guillotine was introduced as the official way to execute people back in 1792. It was a simple way that also let the people watch offenders get their punishment. Luckily, the death penalty was abolished in 1981. That's how far they used the guillotine. Louis the 21st was the king for 20 minutes. The shortest period of a king or queen has ever reigned over a country. That was when Louis the 21st technically could claim himself as the king of France. It took only 20 minutes before he abdicated from the throne, and he never really ruled the country. 8, the biggest country in the United Europe. If you measure the Atlantic area, France is the biggest country in EU, the second biggest country in Europe, and if you don't count Russia, Ukraine is bigger, but is yet to become a member of the European Union, and the majority of Russia is located in Asia. 9, France is possible to marry a dead person. So you can marry a dead person in France. In the 50s, it was decided that it should be allowed to marry a dead person under special circumstances. One needs to prove that there was already plans to get married, and also sends a formal request to the president. Brains, need some brains, right? The one who marries a dead person will not inherit, and the family of the deceased must approve the marriage as well. So there's your answer. 10, yeah, that was in a crime in 17th century. Okay. French cuisine consists of cooking traditions and practice from France. French cuisine developed throughout the centuries, influenced by the many surrounding cultures of Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, and Belgium. In addition to its own food traditions, on the long western coastlands of the Atlantic, the channel of the course of Ireland in the 14th century, Guillaume Terrell, the court chef known as Talbot, wrote La Dandière, which one of the earliest chef recipe collections in medieval France. 17th century chefs Francois Pierre Laverne and Marie Antoinette Crème spearheaded movements that shifted French cooking away from its foreign influences and developed France's own indigenous style. Cheese and wine are a major part of the cuisine. They play different roles regionally, nationally, with many variations of appellations. the regions, or AOC, French cuisine was made important in the 20th century by Gustave Escoffier, who became the modern haute cuisine. Escoffier, however, left out much of the local culinary character to be found in the regions of France and was considered difficult to execute by home cooks. Culinary tourism and the Guy Michelin helped acquaint people with the cuisine bourgeois, or the urban elites, and the peasant cuisine of the French countryside, starting with the 20th century. Gascon cuisine has also had a great influence over the cuisine in the Southwest France. Many dishes were once regional, have proliferated in various across the country. Knowledge of French cooking has contributed to significant to Western cuisines. It is criteria used to vary in Western cookery. School boards in culinary education in November 2010, French gastronomy was added to the UNESCO to its list of world's intangible cultural heritage. Grandfathers of French cuisine, from the top to the bottom to the right, the Polish wife of Louis the 15th of France, Queen Marie Leskiska, influenced French cook cuisine on the right to the left, Marie Antoinette Carême, and then of course, you know, Gustave Escoffier, and the guy with the hat is Paul Bocuse. Okay. Top 10 French foods. Soupe d'oignon, onion soup. Traditionally French soup made of onions, beef stock, usually served with croutons and melted cheese on top, dating back to the Roman times. It was originally a peasant dish, although the current version dates to the 18th century. The soup's unique flavor comes from the caramelization of the onions, which have often brandy or sherry added during the slow cooking process. If you're a soup mood, why not try Marzel's traditional soup de poisson la rouille? Once a fisherman's favorite, this soup is characterized by a dollop of garlic and a saffron mayonnaise on top. Coq au vin. Remember coq au vin, you guys? This quintessential French was popularized by Julie Child, becoming one of the signature dishes. The dish seasons chicken braised with wine, mushrooms, salty pork or bacon, lardons, mushrooms, onions, garlic, and sometimes even a drop of brandy, although the name translates to a rooster in wine. The braising is ideal for Tupperbergs. The recipe usually uses chicken or capon. The wine is typically Burgundy, although regional variations of the dish exist across France. Use the local wines. This includes Coca Vengeance, Coca Riesling from Alsace, Coca Purple, Beaujolais. Believe it or not, they say even a Coca Champagne. So you can even cook chicken au champagne. Cassoulet, oh man, this is one of my favorite ones. It's a comfort dish of white beans stewed only with meat, pork, bacon, ham, sausages. The dish typically uses pork and duck, but it can include sausages, goose, mutton, whatever else the chef has lying around. Peasant dish originates from southern France and is popular in Toulouse, Carcassonne, or Cassonnerie. The name of the dish comes from the pot cassoulet, which is deliciously baked. This pot is a staple of many French homes. Highlighting the popularity is rich, hearty meal that's perfect to those colder months. Man, use duck confit. Beef bourguignon. I don't know if you guys remember back in Foundations when we watched that guy cook the beef bourguignon with the greasy hair, no gloves, same towel, same tongues. Beef bourguignon. Okay. Chocolate souffle. We didn't make it in 2-1, but man, I know a recipe I can make a chocolate souffle. Okay. Flemish means cake or Flemish, and the dish originates from northern France near the border of Belgium. Has a puff pastry crust filled with cheese and vegetables. It resembles a quiche. Traditional filling is leeks and cream. Also, various variations exist. There's also pizza-like version of Flemish, which comes without the top crust of the pie. For a southern French Swiss, try the thin crust pissaladiere, which has anchovies, onions, and olives. Ugh, anchovies. Confit de canard is a tasty French dish of duck. Although some chefs use goose or pork, it is one of the finest French dishes, with meat especially prepared using ancient preservation low cooking process. Confit. This seeks the duck meat marinated in garlic, salt, garlic, thyme, in around 36 hours, and it's slow cooked in its own fat at low temperature. This is a healthy alternative to frying, and typically served with confit, roasted potatoes, and garlic on the side. Today, this dish is popular all over France, although you find the best variations in the Gascony region, cooked in its own fat. Salad niçoise. We'll be making this one on Friday. It's a typical French salad from the Provence region, often eaten as a side dish. It can also be a light meal on its own. The salad is a mix of lettuce, fresh tomatoes, boiled eggs, canned or fresh, tuna, green beans, niçoise, Caletier olives, and anchovies. However, there are plenty of different variations to choose from. So if you're struggling to come up with the ideal summer menu, why not consider salad niçoise? Ratatouille, rat-tat-tat. Not just a lovable cartoon about a friendly rat, ratatouille is also one of France's most iconic dishes. From Provence, not Italian. The dish sees vegetables shallow fried, then layered in a casserole dish before being baked in an oven. French chefs have been debating whether the vegetables be cooking beforehand for centuries, but how you prepare it, the results are still great. Traditional French dish can be a side dish, appetizer, or main course, and tastes great with wine and fresh crusty bread. A similar Basque dish is pepperade, which typically adds ham and sometimes eggs to the stewed vegetable mix. That's a different way of making ratatouille, by the way, just FYI. Number 10, tarte tatin. According to culinary legend, tarte tatin started life as a mistake. 1889, hotelier Stephanie Tatin was making a traditional apple pie where she accidentally left the apples cooking in sugar and butter for too long, Miss Clarissa. For too long, okay? In a hurry to rescue the dessert, she put the pastry base on top of the burning fruit and put it in the oven. She supposedly served the upside down tart to her guests at a Hotel Tatin, and the result turned into a hotel signature dish. And we can still taste this excellent mistake today. It's an upside down apple pie. Okay. Your menu for Friday is salad niçoise. It does have hard-boiled eggs, boiled potatoes, tender, tuna, which you got canned, blanched asparagus. Okay. It has olives, tomatoes, onions, lettuce, capers, or green beans or asparagus, either one. Okay, and lettuce at the bottom. The only thing that we do not have, artichokes. Okay, so don't worry about the artichokes. Okay, so salad niçoise on Friday. Easy does it, but it got a lot of components. Mushroom and leek tart. Okay, so you are going to make pâté brisé this day. Okay, butter, flour, salt, baking powder. You make it, you flour it, you roll it, grab the tatin molds, lay it on top, cut it, and then you're not going to blind bake it. You're going to prepare your leeks, mushrooms, saute them, add the heavy cream reduce, pull it out, mix in the cheese, pour the mixture on top of the raw pie shell in the mold, and bake it all at the same time. Put a sheet tray on the bottom so if it overflows, it doesn't burn in the oven. Okay. And then when it comes out, everything's baked at the same time. Okay. Not for you, Ms. Rebecca, because you got cheese, but man, it's so delicious. Oh, fudge sickles. Okay. So Ms. Rebecca, I don't know if you can use almond milk for this one, but you can leave out the cheese, but do mushrooms, leeks, your almond milk. And I don't know if you got vegan butter to make the pâté brisé. And when you do the almond milk, maybe a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it. Slur your cornstarch to water, thicken it, and then put it on top of the shell so it's not all oozy, okay? And baguette. Okay, so baguette dough first, mushroom and leek tart, and then salad niçoise. 3 items, okay? Only 3 items, but this one has a lot of knife cuts. A couple of items need to be cooked or blanched. This one is the pâté brisé. And you gotta saute all the onions, the leeks, mushrooms, add the cream, reduce it, add the cheese, put it inside and bake it all at the same time. Okay. And then baguette. You guys know baguette. I'm not gonna go into baguette. You guys know how to make baguette. And when should the dough be made, right? So that's Friday. Friday. Any questions about this week's menus? What's coming up tomorrow?
Chorizo with chimichurri, French fries, empanadas, and strudel dough.
Churrasco, not chorizo. So tomorrow,
Sorry.
Southern America, right? Central Southern America, Chile, Argentina, and Brazil. You got steak, chimichurri, French fries, empanada, and then pate de brisée for the next day. Tuesday, what's Tuesday?
Tomorrow is Tuesday.
I mean Wednesday.
Strudel.
How about Barry? You were all excited about Wednesday. Strudel, what else?
Cabbage rolls and egg.
Right?
Strudel, spetzel, and cabbage rolls.
Right. German Day, right?
Yes. I'm excited.
What about Thursday? What's Thursday?
A lot.
Bang.
Spain. 5 recipes. Hustle. Tomato bread. Coulis. No, Friday is France. Thursday is Spain. Tomato bread, coulis, tortilla, pork, and potatoes. Tortilla española. That's tapas day. What about Friday? It's too much, right? Too much.
Baguette
It's
bread. That's all I know.
baguette, salad niçoise, mushroom and tart. Friday's not that bad.
So Wednesday and Thursday are the heavy days, or is it just Thursday?
Just Thursday. Thursday's a heavy day.
I'm ready for it.
Thursday's a heavy day, okay? So you have a lot on your plate coming up, right? This week, right? It's Fast and Furious, right? So here's my production sheet for tomorrow. See the chimichurri recipe? There it is, okay? So steak, chimichurri, French fries, empanada, and strudel dough, okay? This is my production sheet for Wednesday, Germany. Cabbage rolls, spatzel, and strudel, right? Take a look at Thursday. I have to rearrange it because we have so many things going on. Tomato bread, smoked tomato coulis, sofrito, española, and pork. Tell you guys, Thursday is it's gonna be, you know, your back's gonna be against the wall if you don't get ready and be ready on Thursday. Okay. Friday, this is my production sheet for Friday. Mushroom and tart, salad niçoise, and baguette. Take a look at all the ingredients of salad niçoise. Knife cuts, knife cuts, knife cuts, knife cuts. Okay. Any thought on those? What's coming up ahead?
I'm just excited.
I'm getting more and more excited.
So now let me show you something, okay? On the week 3 of the menus, okay? We go back week 3, okay? So after tomorrow, you're gonna click on day 13, okay? And this menu is gonna pop up, right? Day 13. I mean, no, sorry, day 14. Go back, okay? Day 14, okay? Spain. So once you get to day 14, okay, this menu is gonna pop up, right? Tomato bread, pork loin, smoked tomato pepper coulis, right? You click on any of those links, okay, to pull out the recipe. Let me put tomato bread on, okay? I just click on tomato bread right now, okay? What do you see on the recipe here?
Measurements and direction. Look at that.
Right. So this recipe is for 2 loaves, okay? 2 loaves. The recipes, once you hit Spain, France, and Italy, you are going to have measurement and methods. Because this you're going to have 2 sets of recipes. The one for Monday and Tuesday is from the regional cuisine. The one for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, they're from the old classical cuisine syllabus. Okay, these recipes do have amounts and do have methods. Okay, you got to take a look at your recipe and cut them down. Okay, because take a look at what else. Let me see if I can go back. Okay, smoked tomato fibreculi. Here you go. Okay, half an ounce of olive oil, 5 red bell peppers. 5. You're not making that much. Okay. These recipes are geared to serve 16. So cut them down when you get to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the next week, cut them down, okay? So you know how much product to use and how much to make, okay? This recipe folder has a lot more recipes for you guys to take a look at and experiment on your own. My suggestion would be download this recipe, save it on your drive, on a thumb drive, so you guys can have it, okay? Because again, this goes back to the old classes that we had before, and there's a whole bunch of awesome recipes in this one, okay? The cassoulet is here. Poached pears, tarte tatin is here. All those recipes are here, okay? There's a lot of recipes in here, even how to make pasta dough. The recipe that I gave you guys during foundations, I got it from here, okay? So that's what's happening Thursday, Friday with the recipes. You're going to have amounts, you're going to have methods, but it's up to you to look for that information and pop it on your production sheet. Okay. Only this region, right? I think you came down. Okay. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
All fast paced.
You what?
I love that it's all fast paced.
It is. It is. It'll somewhat slow down in Italy, but it'll pick up again because once we're Italy, we go to Northern Africa. Oh, OMG. OMG. And then Northern Africa, we go Middle East and India. OMG.
I'm gonna cry.
And then after that, we go to Philippines, China, Vietnam, and we end in Japan. OMG. Get ready for a hell of a ride after we finish Italy. Okay. So that's what's happening this week. Any questions, any thoughts, any issues, any comments, any concerns?
Nada.
No, chef.
My advice to you guys is be prepared because it is so fast paced. Thursday is our backs against the walls. You guys at home, you can start earlier before class starts. Get the bread out of the way, get it out, okay? Maybe start working with coulis before class starts, okay? Get those things out of the way. But the recipes, again, they're for 16, so you gotta do those recipes down, okay? Your production, Miss Trinity, I'm gonna be on campus at 1 tomorrow. I'm gonna leave my house at 12:30, so you can come between 1:30 and 2. I know you'll be joining class late, but hopefully I can bring the product out and separate what you're gonna have for you to take home, okay? Because the online, everything's portioned out. For you guys on the hybrid, everything's involved. So I got to break it down and put in a box. Yeah, that's why I couldn't box your items today. Okay. So you'll start late tomorrow. That's fine. You know, because you got to by 11 o'clock to turn your product in, your pictures. So you got enough wiggle time to do so. Okay. So those of you guys who were with me, notice Jessica left. Trinity, no Trinity. Ms. Mary, Ms. Lolly, be ready to run.
Heard.
And be ready to be Bougie on Thursday. Right. It's tapa style. Okay. Any questions, any comments, any concerns, any issues?
I have questions, Chef.
Sure.
I know there's no dairy. I already have the flour because you gave it to me, the rice flour. But what all do I need to get? I know I'm running low on almond milk, so I need that and vegan butter. Was there anything else I needed to pick up?
You won't be able to do the egg, the potato, the tortilla española, because you can't replace it with anything else. That's just out of the picture. You're not gonna be able to do so. Almond milk for your mushroom and leek tart. You can leave out the cheese on the tomato bread because it does have Parmesan cheese. You can leave it out. Okay.
Chef, couldn't she try bananas and applesauce? Okay.
You need that protein to coagulate the potatoes like a quiche. And those don't have the protein. It's gonna fall apart.
Just make banana bread.
Oh, I could make.
You need eggs.
No.
Okay. So almond milk, vegan butter, or shortening, or if you have it, or lard, because it's not butter, to make the pâté brisé. The rice flour to try to make the bread with tomato juice, but double the amount of yeast. Okay. What else? Don't put any egg on the salad on Friday. Forget about the tortilla española on Thursday. You're not gonna be able to cut it unless you can make a roasty potato. Take the potatoes and shred them like hash browns. Put them in a skillet. Let them down, low heat. Cook them until they go brown on top. Get a lid. Put them upside down and slide it back in. Roasted potatoes. You can do that. Okay. Okay. So take a look at roasting. Let me write it down. Okay. Roasted potatoes. Okay. You can do that instead of tortilla española with no egg. Okay.
That sounds so much better. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Because hash brown, when you cook them, they stay in shape, right? They don't almost fall apart. They stay in a little bundle. So roasted potatoes, it's a little bit thicker, but they're firmer. Okay, they'll stay in shape. Okay. So tomorrow, there's no issue for you, Ms. Rebecca, because there's no egg, I believe, or flour or seafood. You got steak, chimichurri. Oh yeah, empanada. You need your flour and your shortening or vegan butter. And same thing with the pâté brisé. Wednesday, you got pork, spatzel. See if you can make it with the, I'm gonna see if I can get you more rice flour, okay? Instead of using flour. And then use your egg replacer for the batter, okay? Thursday, roasty, and then Friday, don't use egg on the tuna salad as well, okay? So that's what we have going on. Any thoughts? Any questions? Any comments?
To be clear, for the batter, is that the only thing that the egg replacement is going to work for? Okay.
Correct. Guys, be ready. This is coming. All right.
I'm gonna have fun.
I know. Hey, you had fun on Friday. It was just, hey guys, it was just logging meal Friday, right?
I know. Y'all left me.
Sorry.
Oh, I was jamming out. It's okay.
We had a competition, but I finished real faster.
Hey, calm down. I'll beat you next time.
How did tamales come out? How did your family like tamales?
They loved them. My dad was just like, oh yeah.
You know how to make it is when you expect them to have Christmas.
Oh my goodness. They love the salsa the best. They loved the salsa.
It's all about charring the tomatillos in the cast iron skillet, what gives it that flavor. And no garlic, nothing else. Just plain tomatillos, jalapenos, cilantro, and onions, and that is it.
Yeah. My whole
That was
family
fun
loved
to
it.
make.
Yeah, it was fun to make.
I made some at home.
Yeah, I know, I remember. That was good. All right, guys, so no questions asked. Go work on your production sheets. Get them ready. Those are a must have them, okay? Otherwise, you will be lost. You ain't gonna cut it.
Heard, Chef.
See you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.